Chapter 470. Soon, the doors of the giant hall will open. Xiao Han nodded slightly. His heart was filled with a feeling of eagerness. Let's quickly gather the immortal stones we have, Xiao Mingqiu said hurriedly. At this moment, Master. Xiao Han's 5 fiendish hero slaves also came from not far away. Xiao Han nodded slightly. Master, we've also found some immortal stones. We'll give them to you now so that you can enter the giant hall and realize your ambitions. The 5 slaves said in unison. Slaves naturally prioritized their master's interests. Their master's interests were paramount. Xiao Han asked around and found that his 5 slaves had gained quite a lot. Each of them had found dozens of immortal stones, and one of them had even found 76 immortal stones. Xiao Mingqiu, Luo Tianyu, and the others sighed when they saw this. Xiao Han shook his head and laughed. He thought to himself, searching for immortal stones is actually a way to sense the immortal realm and test the immortal affinity. It seems that the devil heroes of the Rong dimension are indeed better than the devil heroes of our dimension. This could be seen from the number of immortal stones they found. Keep your immortal stones for yourselves. You don't have to give them to me. Xiao Han smiled and looked at Xiao Mingqiu and the others. Eldest senior brother, Brother Luo, I'm quite lucky this time. I found quite a lot of immortal stones. I'll give you a portion so that the devil heroes of our dimension can enter the giant hall and try their immortal affinity. Xiao Mingqiu and the others were stunned. In the next moment, Xiao Han took out some immortal stones from his storage ring and distributed them to Xiao Mingqiu and the others. However, to avoid being too shocking, Xiao Han did not take out too many immortal stones for the time being. He only symbolically gave each of them 10 immortal stones. Hiss. Xiao Mingqiu and the others held the immortal stones that Xiao Han had distributed. Their eyes were filled with confusion and shock. Oh my God! Junior brother Xiao Han, you took out so many immortal stones and gave them to us so easily. How many immortal stones did you find? Xiao Mingqiu said in shock. How many celestial stones have I found? Eldest senior brother, if I say that I found 576655 celestial stones, will you faint from fright? Xiao Han smiled in his heart. However, he did not make it public. Instead, he spoke ambiguously. This, eldest senior brother. After we enter the giant hall, I will tell you exactly how many immortal stones I have found. For now, allow me to keep you in suspense. In short, not much. After entering the giant hall, I should be able to exchange for some treasures. Tisk, I'm afraid it's more than 1,000? Xiao Mingqiu's face turned pale. $1,000. Xiao Han almost burst out laughing. Not long after, Xiao Han found dozens of fiend heroes from his plane, including Yan Qi. Xiao Han managed to find them all. These villains. Most of them didn't even have 10 immortal stones. Yan Qi, on the other hand, had 11 immortal stones. Yan Qi was pleased with himself as if he was passing judgment on the world. However, when Xiao Han took out hundreds of immortal stones and gave them to the evil hero who had less than 10, Yan Qi was dumbfounded. He was extremely envious. He wanted to ask Xiao Han for the immortal stones, but he was frightened by Xiao Han's indifferent gaze. In the end, he did not speak. At the same time, many evil heroes entered the teleportation array in the plane with dejected expressions. None of them had 10 immortal stones. Most of them sold their scattered immortal stones to other evil heroes or gave them as gifts. Then, they reluctantly stepped into the teleportation array and ended their exploration of the genius zone. Boom, boom, boom. The teleportation array rumbled and used the celestial qi in the giant hall as energy to send the evil heroes away. There were many evil heroes who were teleported out. They lined up with their heads lowered and walked into the teleportation array in silence. In the blink of an eye, millions of evil heroes had left the genius zone. Everyone, I have already given you some immortal stones so that you have all met the basic requirement of having 10 immortal stones and are qualified to enter the giant hall. However, you must have heard Immortal Emperor Ju Dao's voice transmission just now. Entering the giant hall is an opportunity to exchange for Dharma treasures. However, it is also an extremely dangerous test. There is a possibility of death. Everyone, think carefully about whether you want to enter the giant hall or not, Xiao Han said to the evil heroes of his dimension with a serious expression. Dozens of evil heroes looked at each other. Junior brother Xiao Han, I must enter the giant hall. I will die without regrets, Xiao Mingqiu said resolutely. Then all the evil heroes nodded and said in a firm tone. Go in. We have already arrived at the Immortal Emperor's lair. If we don't try our luck, we will not be at ease for the rest of our lives. All right then. When the gate of the giant hall opens, let's all enter. Xiaohan nodded. Evil heroes constantly passed through the teleportation array and left the genius zone. The number of evil heroes who left had already exceeded 30 million. 2 hours later, suddenly, in the ancient castle that seemed to have existed for billions of years, there were sounds of chi, chi, chi. Beams of dazzling light shot out from the castle, causing the entire castle to be enveloped in a flawless immortal light. It was magnificent. Boom, there was a loud noise. The gate of the castle slowly opened. Supreme light, resplendence, glory, holiness, and mystery radiated from the gate. The aura of the immortal world gushed out. It made people yearn for it. It made people worship it. It made people hesitate. Ha 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 ha. Hearty laughter came from the castle and echoed between heaven and earth. The gate of the giant hall has finally opened. Ah. All evil heroes who have at least 10 immortal stones, please come in. Ah. In the giant hall there are some treasures of this emperor. Although they can't be compared to the second one, they are all treasures. Although they cannot compare to the treasures on the second and third floors, they are still extraordinary for you secular evil heroes. For you, it is an immortal opportunity that can change your fate. Alright, there is no time to lose. Come in. Ah. The gate of the giant hall has opened. Let's go in. Xiaohan's spirit rose. He moved his body and flew directly toward the giant hall. Follow behind junior brother Xiaohan. Xiao Mingqiu also flew at the same time. Let's go. At the same time. Go go go. Enter the giant hall. Enter. I can finally see the treasures of immortal Emperor Ju Dao with my own eyes. This trip is worth it. Go, 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 go. Even if there is a danger of death, I have to go and try my immortal opportunity. The densely packed evil heroes, like a swarm of locusts, rushed toward the open gate of the giant hall. Xiaohan saw the evil heroes, one after another, disappear into the boundless light behind the gate. Whoosh! Xiaohan also flew into the gate of the giant hall with a few flashes. Impressively, when he entered the light world that was like the immortal world inside the gate, Xiaohan suddenly felt a huge repulsive force, as if his body had hit a layer of barrier. Oh! Xiaohan's spirit moved. The next moment, good fortune came to the mind. He flipped his right hand and 10 immortal stones appeared in his hand. In an instant, the 10 immortal stones melted at once, causing Xiaohan's body to become light. He rushed in without any barrier. After entering the palace, Xiaohan's feet were steady and he immediately looked around. His eyes were full of shock. The inside of this ancient castle palace was actually a small world. From the outside, the ancient castle palace did not seem to be big, but after entering it, he found that the inside of the palace was a world of its own. It was boundless. He saw that in the middle of the palace, there was a giant square, rockery, ponds, fountains, flowers, butterflies dancing, and flowers and fruit trees planted everywhere in the immortal world. The fragrance was fragrant and it was beautiful. Birds were singing, flowers were fragrant, and trees were full of flowers. Thousands of auspicious qi, tens of thousands of auspicious clouds, the atmosphere was comfortable and peaceful. It made people feel as if they were in heaven. The area of the square was very large, enough to accommodate hundreds of millions of people, but it did not seem crowded at all. At this moment, there were already tens of millions of Taoists in the square. They were curious, delighted, and at a loss. In all directions of the square, there were terraced courtyards and houses. The eaves were arched, red walls and green tiles, layer upon layer. Wisps of immortal qi rippled in it, like a divine palace in the sky. Looking up from the square, the terraced courtyards and houses were like beehives and bird nests, with no end in sight, covering the sky and the sun. It was a spectacular sight. It's too spectacular. Moreover, this giant palace must contain the profound law of space. This immortal Emperor Ju Dao is really good. Xiaohan was amazed. At this moment, ripples appeared in the space. Dozens of figures, after twisting, stabilized their bodies and appeared beside Xiaohan. Junior brother Xiaohan? It was Xiao Mingqiu and the others. After spending 10 immortal stones, we finally entered this giant palace. Where are the immortal treasures? Why don't I see any immortal pills, immortal tools or magic treasures? Luo Tianyu hurriedly asked. Then he looked around and immediately kept quiet out of fear. The inside of this giant palace, it's too grand. Let's wait and see first, Xiaohan said in a low voice. Then more and more evil heroes entered the giant palace one after another. The number of evil heroes standing on the square became more and more terrifying. In just a few hours, it had reached tens of millions. However, fortunately, the square was big enough. Therefore, it didn't seem crowded at all, even though there were tens of millions of people standing at the same time. Xiao Han and the others didn't act rashly. Instead, they stood on the square and looked around innocently. Xiao Han also withdrew his mental strength. The number of evil heroes on the square was too terrifying. Releasing his mental strength would make his scalp numb. After another few hours, gradually, there were no more evil heroes being teleported in. Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's voice sounded again. Ha ha! Welcome to the evil heroes that have entered the giant palace created by this emperor. For all of you, a new test is about to begin. A total of more than 40 million people have entered. About 80 million evil heroes have entered the genius zone. Through searching for immortal stones, nearly half of the people have been eliminated. Not bad, more than 40 million evil heroes. Haha, I didn't expect that this emperor's lair would attract so many elites from various worlds. There are a lot of treasures in the giant palace. Everyone please pay attention. Next, this emperor will tell everyone the amount of immortal stones needed to exchange for each treasure. Yes, although there are a lot of treasures in the giant palace, you must use immortal stones to exchange for them. Before that, this emperor will announce one more thing. To enter the second floor of this emperor's treasure, you will need 5 million immortal stones. Among all of you who has 5 million immortal stones. With 5 million immortal stones, you can exchange for a place to enter the second floor of the treasure. Haha, this emperor's treasure has a total of 4 floors. This genius zone is only the outermost floor. The quality of the treasures there is the worst. The quality of the treasures in the second floor is already very good. 5 million immortal stones for a place to enter the second floor. As soon as he said that, the tens of millions of evil heroes on the square all gasped. Are you serious? 5 million immortal stones to be qualified to enter the second floor? Xiao Han was extremely speechless. Originally, he thought that he would be considered rich after entering the giant palace with more than 500,000 immortal stones. With food in his hands, he would not panic anymore. However, he never thought that to obtain a place to enter the second floor, he would need to spend 10 times more than what he had. Xiao Han looked around and realized that every evil hero on the square had a sullen and disappointed expression on their faces. It seems like I've been tricked by this immortal Emperor Zhu Dao. Xiao Han murmured to himself. 5 million immortal stones. I'm afraid none of the evil heroes here can take out that amount alone. Chapter 471. Tens of millions of fiends stood in the huge square in the giant hall. Around the square were terraced courtyards and houses. They were stacked one after another so high that one could not see the end of them. The scene was dead silent. Every fiend was quietly listening to immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's voice transmission. Yes, fellow fiends, you did not hear wrongly. To enter the second level of my treasure, you will need at least 5 million immortal stones. 5 million immortal stones will obtain a key to open the second level of the treasure. As soon as immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's voice fell, boom, the space shook and ripples spread everywhere. All of a sudden, densely packed immortal talismans of various colors appeared in the void. In an instant, these immortal talismans assembled and formed the pattern of 7 keys. The 7 keys were all extremely ancient in shape and size. They were exactly the same, but the colors and materials were different: red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, purple. 7 types of keys? Xiao Han looked up and said to Xiao Mingchu, who was beside him. Eldest senior brother, there seems to be 7 different types of keys differentiated by color. Could it be that all 7 keys can enter the second level of immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure? This. Xiao Mingchu was also confused. Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's voice sounded again. To make a long story short, red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, purple, each of the 7 colored immortal keys can open the second level of my treasure. The red immortal key is worth 5 million immortal stones and can allow one person to enter the second level of my treasure. The orange immortal key is worth 10 million immortal stones and can allow 3 people to enter the second level of my treasure. The yellow immortal key is worth 15 million immortal stones and can allow 10 people to enter the second level of my treasure. The green immortal key is worth 20 million immortal stones and can allow 20 people to enter the second level of my treasure. The cyan immortal key is worth 30 million immortal stones and can allow 50 people to enter the second level of my treasure. The blue immortal key is worth 30 million immortal stones and can allow 50 people to enter the second level of my treasure. The blue immortal key is worth 50 million immortal stones and can allow 70 people to enter the second level of my treasure. Enter the second level of this emperor's treasure trove. Finally, there is only one purple immortal key. The only purple immortal key. Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's voice suddenly became high-pitched. The only purple immortal key is worthless. It can allow 200 people to enter the second level of my treasure. In other words, among the 7 colored immortal keys, the purple immortal key. It is the most valuable. Ah! As soon as Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao said this, the tens of millions of demons on the square couldn't help but clamor. All kinds of discussions rose and fell. Of the 7 immortal keys, it seems that the scarlet immortal key is of the lowest quality. It can only teleport one person to the second layer of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure trove, but the price is already beyond our reach. 5 million immortal stones. He couldn't take it out at all. I spent 3 whole days digging for celestial stones in the Genius Zone, but I only managed to dig up a few hundred. Other than the red immortal key, the rest are orange and yellow. Green, blue, blue, purple. Tens of millions of immortal stones are simply not something we can afford. Furthermore, the purple immortal key is said to be the most precious and priceless one. What does it mean by priceless? Xiao Han was also very confused now. All kinds of immortal keys have a clear price. If you think about it carefully, there's nothing wrong with that. But, the purple immortal key is said to be a priceless treasure. I wonder what Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao is trying to do. Let's not talk about the purple and blue immortal keys first. Even if it's a scarlet immortal key worth 5 million immortal stones, we can't do anything about it. Xiao Mingchu's face was filled with bitterness as he shook his head continuously. Ha ha ha. I think all of you are confused, right? But it doesn't matter. Once you hear what I'm going to say next, you will completely understand. Let's not talk about the 7 immortal keys that lead to the second layer of my treasure trove. Now, I'm going to show you the various treasures that are hidden in this giant hall. The treasures are finally going to show themselves. That's great. We won't have any extravagant hopes for the second layer of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure trove. Now that we can exchange some treasures in this giant hall, this trip will not be in vain. Xiao Han was also focused. He also guessed that it was impossible for him to not be able to exchange for a single treasure with more than 500,000 immortal stones on hand. At this moment, in the void of the giant hall, beams of light converged. In an instant, a huge light screen was formed. On this light screen, there were a large number of items, diagrams, and words. It was so dense that it was dazzling to look at it. I've listed all the treasures that I've placed in this giant hall. Take a look and you'll have an idea in your heart. Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao said proudly. Any of the treasures are not something that mortals like you can touch. However, you're lucky that you've entered my treasure trove and obtained this immortal fate. For a moment, the tens of millions of evil heroes in the entire square focused their eyes on the light screen in the void. Their eyes did not move at all and even their breathing seemed to have stopped. Xiao Han's eyes bulged. The more he looked, the more frightened he became. Immortal pills, Yin-Yang longevity pill. Each pill is worth 100,000 immortal stones. Each dragon blood pill was worth 100,000 immortal stones. Each starry sky life extension pill was worth 100,000 immortal stones. Each immortality pill was worth 100,000 immortal stones. Each 9 revolution soul return pill was worth 100,000 immortal stones. Immortal Qi, Haoyan immortal Qi. Each jar was worth 50,000 immortal stones. Each jar of pure Yang immortal Qi was worth 50,000 immortal stones. Each jar of Aurora immortal Qi was worth 50,000 immortal stones. Immortal technique manuals, Heavenly Tao killing intent fist, 500,000 immortal stones. Mortal divine technique, 1 million celestial stones. Myriad Buddha's Vajra great compassion mantra, 3 million immortal stones. 5 element immortal technique, 5 million immortal stones. 9 Yang supreme immortal force, 8 million immortal stones. Immortal artifact, offensive immortal artifact. 5 million immortal stones each. Defensive immortal artifacts cost 10 million immortal stones each. Special type, cosmic rock egg, 8 million immortal stones. Pure-blooded heavenly dragon egg, 10 million immortal stones. Puppet sword immortal, 10 million immortal stones. Portable immortal abode, 10 million immortal stones. There were too many treasures. It included immortal pills. Immortal Qi special type, immortal technique manuals, offensive and defensive immortal artifacts. Without a doubt. If any of the treasures were to be obtained by immortal, it would be a chance for them to rise to power. There were some special type treasures that none of the heroes present had even heard of. This is too scary. Xiaohan shook his head in horror as he read. Eldest senior brother. Look, there's a detailed explanation below each treasure. For example, the special type, Sword Immortal Puppet. It's a puppet created with expensive materials from the immortal world. It's a sword immortal. As long as enough energy is injected into it, it will be able to unleash world-destroying power. It can cause the sword immortal puppet to erupt with the power to destroy the world. A single strand of sword energy is enough to destroy an entire secular world. There's also the portable immortal abode. It's only the size of a storage ring, but it contains a huge world inside. Even a living person can enter it. There's also the pure-blooded heavenly dragon egg. It can give birth to a pure-blooded heavenly dragon. That's a ferocious creature that can crush everything. Xiao Mingqiu was also dazed. However, he quickly gritted his teeth. It's too attractive. These treasures are like a dream to us mortals. It's hard to imagine, but we can't exchange for them. Who can afford to exchange for millions and tens of millions of immortal stones? Luo Tianyu howled in grief and indignation. They're really fooling us. Not to mention those immortal treasures and immortal artifacts. Even an immortal pill is worth 100,000 immortal stones. A jar of immortal qi is also worth 50,000 immortal stones. This is too expensive. For a time, dense sounds of booing, exclaiming, shaking their heads, and sighing resounded in the surroundings. Xiaohan was also sullen. He had more than 500,000 immortal stones in his hands. He thought he could use them to his heart's content in exchange for the items he needed, but in the end, he couldn't make ends meet. 500,000 immortal stones could only be exchanged for a few immortal pills. Moreover, if a mortal hastily used an immortal pill, it was very likely that he wouldn't be able to enjoy it and would directly explode and die. Only a half-immortal could barely try to use immortal qi to temper his body and use immortal pills. After an unknown period of time, Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's voice sounded again. Heroes, what do you think? My treasures are not bad, right? Do you feel like you're suffocating now? Ah. Let alone you mortals, even ordinary true immortals would be moved when they see these treasures and would fight for them at all costs. Haha, then this is only the treasures on the first floor. Enter the second floor, the third floor, and the fourth floor. Ah. The tens of millions of heroes were shaken to their core when they heard this. However, although the treasures were heaven-defying, they could only see them but not obtain them. Now, you must think that the amount of immortal stones needed to exchange for treasures is too much and you can't afford it, right? Ah. That's normal. If you only need a few or dozens of immortal stones to exchange for my treasures, wouldn't that be a joke? Now all of you listen up. I'm going to announce an extremely important rule. Immortal Stones Competition. Immortal Stones Competition. The tens of millions of heroes held their breaths. The so-called Immortal Stones Competition, as the name suggests, is a competition to compete for immortal stones. Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao used a voice that controlled everything and said slowly, every hero that enters the giant hall is qualified to participate in the Immortal Stones Competition. In the Immortal Stones Competition, the winner will be rewarded with immortal stones. As for the specific rules, during this period of time, you can stay in this giant hall. After Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao said this, the tens of millions of heroes looked at the tiered courtyards and houses around the square. Then all of them nodded in understanding. It turned out that these houses and courtyards were for the heroes to stay in. Staying in the giant hall for a day will cost 10 immortal stones. Every house in the giant hall has a small teleportation formation. Heroes that want to leave can teleport out at any time. Every day in the giant hall, there will be a round of competition. The heroes that participate in the competition will randomly choose their opponents and fight in the arena. The winner will not only win the stipulated immortal stones, but also all the immortal stones that the loser has. On the first day of the first round of competition, every winner will be rewarded with 20,000 immortal stones. On the second day of the second round of competition, every winner will be rewarded with 40,000 immortal stones. On the third day of the third round of competition, every winner will be rewarded with 80,000 immortal stones. On the fourth day of the fourth round of competition, every winner will be rewarded with 160,000 immortal stones. On the fifth day of the fifth round of competition, every winner will be rewarded with 320,000 immortal stones. During the process of the competition, the opponents will be randomly determined. During the competition, the heroes that have earned enough immortal stones can exchange for treasures that they like and then teleport away. Of course, they can also keep fighting. The winner of the competition will be determined by life and death. You can understand this competition as a battle of life and death. The heroes that participate in the competition don't have to participate every day. They can choose any day to participate in the competition. The number of immortal stones that are rewarded every day is different. The more it goes on, the more immortal stones that are rewarded every day. Of course, the later it goes, the more dangerous it will be, and the stronger the opponents will be. During the process of the competition, as long as you have enough immortal stones, you can exchange for treasures at will. However, offensive and defensive immortal treasures can be exchanged, but they are not allowed to be used during the competition. Exchanging for treasures, applying to participate in the competition, and applying to teleport away are all done in the accommodation area, in the courtyard of the houses. Every day that you stay will cost 10 immortal stones. If you don't have enough immortal stones, you will be expelled. Chapter 472. Celestial Stone Competition. Tens of millions of heroes held their breath. They pricked up their ears and listened carefully. It turns out that we have to earn celestial stones through the Celestial Stone Competition, then accumulate enough to exchange for treasures. We can also exchange for various celestial keys to enter the second level. I understand now. In this case, I completely understand. Xiao Han's mind was completely clear. He was no longer confused. Not only Xiao Han but tens of millions of heroes also understood the rules now. Every day, every chivalrous hero present would have a chance to participate in a competition and have a chance to fight. Every time they defeated an opponent, they would be rewarded with celestial stones, and all the celestial stones of the loser. However, victory or defeat was determined by life and death. This was a true battle of death. However, the heroes present were all well-trained heroes. They had experienced countless dangers in their lives. The reason why they could achieve what they had today was because they climbed out of mountains of corpses and seas of bones. Therefore, most of the monsters were not afraid of death. Instead, they were excited. Roar. Fight. It turns out that through fighting they would obtain celestial stones, then exchange them for treasures and even enter the second level. Wow, that's great. Luck was involved in finding celestial stones, but there were no tricks in a real battle. This was a game where the winner takes all. That's great. That's great. Let's fight. I'll kill everyone who stands in my way. I'll kill them all. I'll plunder countless celestial stones. I'll exchange for countless treasures and enter the second level. Interesting, Earning celestial stones through fighting. Immortal Emperor Judao is so great. The crowd was excited. The tens of millions of chivalrous heroes present were burning with passion, and all of them were burning with the desire to fight. It was unstoppable. Everyone's blood was boiling. Phew! Xiao Han exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. In his sea of consciousness, the liquid spirit power planet was tumbling. It emitted a warm current, making Xiao Han's whole body warm as if he was soaking in a hot spring. His eyes were filled with fighting spirit. He glanced sideways. Xiao Mingqiu, Luo Tianyu, and the other heroes were also filled with fighting spirit. Eldest senior brother, are you also prepared to fight? Xiao Han asked. Yes, let's fight. Since I entered this giant hall, I won't hesitate to fight. Xiao Mingqiu said resolutely. Junior brother Xiao Han, I'm not an impulsive person. The wind is rising and the clouds are surging. Brother's combat strength is indeed weak. However, this was only the first round of the Immortal Stones competition. I still want to participate in the second round. However, eldest senior brother, in every round of the competition, the opponents are randomly selected. If you encounter a powerful opponent, victory or defeat will be decided by life and death. Xiao Han was slightly worried. Junior brother Xiao Han, if I die in battle, please bring my remains back to the Unity Mountain Range and bury me there. Xiao Mingqiu said resolutely. At that moment, Immortal Emperor Judao's voice was heard again. What do you think? Dear heroes, the Immortal Stone competition is very interesting, right? However, this emperor will give you a word of warning here. In the secular world, all of you must be arrogant and unruly, and your temperaments must be very tenacious. However, life and death are more important. You must understand one thing, know when to stop. If you're not strong enough, don't fight. In the end, you'll probably die in the arena and the immortal stones you've accumulated might be taken away by your opponent. Instead, you'll benefit others. So, once you've obtained enough immortal stones and exchanged them for treasures you like, you can retreat and leave the giant hall. Of course, there are some arrogant heroes who want to enter the second level of my treasure. That's fine too. As long as you accumulate 5 million immortal stones, you'll be able to exchange for the red immortal key. The violet immortal key that I mentioned earlier is the most precious, the only one, and priceless. Now I'll tell you. The violet immortal key can only be obtained by the champion of the celestial stone competition. In other words, the winner of the final round. As soon as this was said, there was a commotion in the crowd. The champion of the immortal stone competition can only obtain the purple immortal key? No, there's no need for that. The only benefit of the purple immortal key is that it can bring 200 people into the second level. There's nothing special about it. Why take the risk to fight to the final round? There's always someone stronger than you. Anyway, my bottom line is to get a red immortal key and leave. I don't want to enter the second level. I just want to exchange for an immortal weapon. If I accumulate enough immortal stones, I won't exchange for an immortal key. Instead, I'll take the immortal weapon and leave. When I return to the plane, I'll become an ancestor and live a carefree life. My bottom line is to exchange for some immortal pills and immortal chi. Every hero can be exchanged for multiple immortal keys. Furthermore, only those with immortal keys can enter the second layer of restrictions in my treasure trove. According to the rules, the hero with the immortal key can bring others into the second level according to the quality of the immortal key. Note that the immortal key is yours. Therefore, there's no restriction on bringing others in. You can bring in ordinary mortals above 10,000 years old. You can even bring in immortals. Do you understand now? Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao laughed playfully. In other words, in the second level of my treasure, there's a possibility of mortals and immortals searching for treasures together. Isn't it getting more and more interesting? The second level of my treasure will open after 10 years. Immortals and ordinary mortals above 10,000 years old can't directly enter the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. But the heroes here can bring them in after obtaining the immortal key. Xiao Han had a subtle feeling in his heart. Alright, I've finished announcing all the rules. You can take your time to digest it. Tomorrow, the Immortal Stone competition will officially begin. Now you can choose your own courtyard and house in this giant hall. Remember, in the giant hall, you're not allowed to make any noise, curse or kill each other. Heroes must fight and kill each other. You must pass the Immortal Stone competition. Usually, whoever dares to act rashly will be killed by a trace of my spirit sense. Disperse. Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's voice disappeared without a trace. Not long after, Xiao, on the square, the densely packed heroes began to fly towards the surrounding terraced field houses and courtyards. Although there were more than 40 million heroes on the square. However, the terraced field buildings seemed to go straight to the sky. They were large enough to accommodate many heroes. Eldest senior brother. Let's find a place to stay first. Xiao Han smiled at the heroes of his plane. Those who don't have immortal stones on hand, I can lend you guys a place to stay first. Each house and courtyard needed to consume 10 immortal stones a day. Some of the heroes of Xiao Han's plane also had some. After entering the giant hall, they did not have many immortal stones left on hand. Let's go. Xiao Mingqiu was the first to float in the air. Xiao Han and the dozens of heroes of his plane. They controlled their true chi and rose steadily until they reached the thousands of floors of the terraced field buildings. Only then did they find a large courtyard house that was not occupied by the heroes of other planes. Every single courtyard. The doors were tightly shut and there was a groove in each door. Xiao Han flipped his right hand and threw 10 immortal stones into the groove. In the next moment, creak, the courtyard door opened. A beam of light shone on Xiao Han's body, causing his entire body to be filled with an inexplicable power. It pulled slightly towards the inside of the courtyard. And this courtyard produced a repulsive force towards Xiao Mingqiu and the others who were standing beside Xiao Han. It seems that this courtyard only allows me to enter. Xiao Han laughed involuntarily. Then Xiao Han took out thousands of immortal stones from his storage ring and handed them to Xiao Mingqiu. Eldest senior brother, take these immortal stones first. You can distribute them to everyone. I'll enter this courtyard to take a look first. We'll come out and talk later. Thousands of immortal stones? Xiao Mingqiu took the immortal stones from Xiao Han's hand, his face full of shock. Junior brother Xiao Han, you really found so many immortal stones. It's amazing. Haha, thousands of immortal stones can't be exchanged for anything. Xiao Han shook his head and laughed. Then Xiao Han directly flashed and entered the courtyard. In the courtyard. This courtyard was about a dozen acres in size, planted with many immortal trees and jade flowers. The treetops were full of immortal fruits. Some were shaped like apples, some were shaped like grapes, and some were shaped like watermelons. The fragrance of the fruit was strong, causing one to feel refreshed and drool at the slightest whiff of this fragrance. Tsk. So fragrant. Xiaohan could not help but pluck an apple and bite it. The flesh of the fruit simply melted in his mouth, and his lips and teeth emitted a fragrance. His entire body was extremely comfortable, as if there were countless small hands massaging the blood vessels in his body. This should be the immortal fruit. If mortals eat it, their lives will be prolonged. Xiaohan had a face full of admiration. Then he walked towards the wooden house in the shade of the orchard. Inside the exquisite and elegant wooden house, the furnishings were simple, fresh, and refined. A bed, a chair, a table, a stove, and a praying mat. However, the strange thing was that in the middle of the wooden house, there was a light screen that was as smooth as a mirror. On the light screen there were some patterns and words. Xiaohan walked towards the light screen with great interest. He looked carefully with rapt attention. He saw that at the bottom of the light screen, there were a few icons. The first icon was the prototype of a teleportation formation. The following note: spiritual wave contact, can teleport out of this emperor's treasure. The second icon was the prototype of an arena. The following note: spiritual wave contact, request to participate in the Immortal Stone competition. Every demon hero is only allowed to participate in one round of the Immortal Stone competition every day. The competition opponent will be randomly selected. The third icon was the prototype of a treasure chest. The following note: spiritual wave contact, request to exchange immortal stones for treasure. The fourth icon was the prototype of a key. The following note: spiritual wave contact, request to exchange immortal stones for 7-colored immortal key. This is really interesting. Xiaohan was slightly stunned, and then he smiled faintly. Then he stretched his waist and walked towards the window. Outside the window was a huge garden planted with all kinds of immortal world flowers. A delicate fragrance curled up in the air, causing one to forget the mundane world. Immortal Stone competition. Xiaohan muttered to himself. In his mind he was already thinking quickly. Chapter 473. This immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's idea is indeed unique. Many evil heroes use the arena battle method to obtain immortal stones as rewards and then exchange them for treasures. Xiaohan leaned against the window and frowned slightly. This immortal stone competition is a bit of a pity for me. Unfortunately, in Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's lair, my demonic power and demonic techniques are almost completely restricted, causing my battle strength to be severely affected. Now I can only rely on my mental strength to activate my natal saber chi to fight. Among the countless geniuses, Xiaohan's true chi realm was a complete joke. His expanded meridian realm cultivation was completely at the bottom. The strength of his physical body was also unable to compete with the other evil heroes. His only trump card was the great accomplishment saber intent. However, the natal saber chi existed in Xiaohan's sea of consciousness. Every time it was used, it would take a long time to replenish. In this way, every time I use up my natal saber chi, it will take a long time to replenish it. But this immortal stone competition has 1 round a day, so I can't persist in fighting in every round. Furthermore, in the celestial stone competition, the opponents I will meet will be stronger as time goes on. At that time, it will be hard to say if my natal saber chi will be able to defeat them. This is a competition of life and death. The winner takes all and the loser dies. Xiaohan cannot fail. Therefore, during this immortal stone competition, I must try my best to increase my battle strength. Xiaohan knew his own strength. To increase his battle strength in a short period of time, there was no doubt that he had to work on his saber intent. This would make his saber intent even more flawless and powerful. To achieve a breakthrough in his saber intent, he had to increase his mental strength. I will be able to cultivate the extermination of heaven and earth mental technique to the 20th finger technique. Even break through the shackles and complete the 21st finger technique. Solidify my mental strength. After solidifying my mental strength, my saber intent will definitely improve by leaps and bounds. I might even be able to capture the gate of the saber realm more clearly. Once the gate of the saber realm is slightly opened, the ancient saber soul will be summoned out. I, Xiaohan, will be fearless and invincible against the tens of millions of demons present. I will try my best to increase my mental strength. Xiaohan finally decided on his path. Before this, My mental strength was restricted by my physical body, so I could not improve any further and was unable to complete the 20th finger technique of the extermination of heaven and earth mental technique. Therefore, in the final analysis, if you want to increase your mental strength, the first thing you have to do is to refine your physical strength. This will make my physical strength even more vigorous. Currently, Xiaohan's pure physical strength had reached tens of millions of cauldrons. However, with the support of the immortal golden body, but it was still less than 100 million. I have to think of a way to break through 100 million in pure physical strength. Xiaohan returned to the wooden house and stood in front of the mirror-like light screen in the middle of the wooden house. To increase the strength of my body, I can exchange for some body-tempering elixirs and forcefully improve it. Also, I can use the myriad beasts devouring art. Xiaohan released a strand of mental fluctuation and directly swept across the light screen. In the next moment, the pictures and words of various immortal pills and Dharma treasures appeared. He entered Xiaohan's field of vision. Xiaohan's gaze flickered as he continued to read and decipher the items. Finally, his gaze landed on a few treasures. Earth Dragon Egg, 5 million immortal stones. Universe Kunping Egg, 8 million immortal stones. Pure-blooded Heavenly Dragon Egg, 10 million immortal stones. Pure-blooded Qilin Egg, 10 million immortal stones. Pure-blooded Godly Beast Egg. Xiaohan was excited. The purity of these godly beasts' bloodlines must far surpass the pure-blooded Swanni and pure-blooded heavenly dragons I encountered in the Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom's Heavenly Dragon Empire. The so-called godly beasts raised by the Heavenly Dragon Empire were only wild beasts that had a little bit of godly beast bloodline. They were worlds apart from the godly beast eggs that Celestial Emperor Ju Dao had collected. My myriad beasts devouring art can absorb and refine the life force of any godly beast and devour them to nourish and strengthen my body. The effect is heaven-defying. In other words, if I can obtain these divine beast eggs, even if I only obtain one of them and directly refine it to devour the life force of the divine beast, the strength of my flesh shell will skyrocket. At that time, I might even be able to lay the perfect foundation for breaking through to the 20th spiritual force finger technique. However, among these godly beast eggs, the lowest quality Earth Dragon Egg is worth 5 million immortal stones. I only have 500,000 immortal stones on hand. It's far from enough. I can't get it for now. Xiaohan was anxious. However, no matter how anxious he was, he would not be able to earn immortal stones. The only way is to participate in the immortal stone competition, defeat the opponent, and obtain immortal stones as a reward. I have to accumulate enough immortal stones to exchange for these godly beast eggs as soon as possible. 5 million immortal stones is enough to exchange for a red immortal key that leads to the second floor of Celestial Emperor Ju Dao's treasure. However, there's no hurry. I'll exchange for treasures to cultivate first. These godly beast eggs are rare and can only be found by chance. If they're exchanged by other heroes and I miss this opportunity, it'll be too late for regrets. Xiaohan's mind raced for a while. Then he changed his mind and scanned the immortal pill-type treasures. I can't buy any godly beast eggs at the moment. Then, let's see if there are any body refinement immortal pills that are suitable for me. Xiaohan's goal was very clear. Immortal pill type, Yin Yang Longevity Pill. Each pill is worth 100,000 immortal stones, 12897/50,000. Dragon Blood Pill. Each pill is worth 100,000 immortal stones, 23978/50,000. Starry Sky Life Extending Pill. Each pill is worth 100,000 immortal stones, 2876/100000. Immortality Pill. Each pill is worth 100,000 immortal stones, 476/100000. 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill. Each pill is worth 100,000 immortal stones, 11111/100000. Looks like the various immortal pills have already been exchanged for by the heroes. Xiaohan's body trembled as he stared at the light screen with his mind. Not good. The stock of various immortal pills is gradually decreasing. It turns out that I'm not the only one planning to exchange for immortal pills. Tens of millions of heroes, as long as they have enough immortal stones, are also exchanging for treasures. I have to quickly find body refinement immortal pills. Otherwise, they'll be exchanged for by other heroes. That'll be very bad. Xiaohan's mind quickly scanned the area. He examined the effects and characteristics of each immortal pill. After a few hundred breaths, finally, Thunder God Body Refinement Pill, a body refinement immortal pill refined by the Thunder Emperor, who is ranked 7th in the immortal world. It was black in color as if it was formed by the dark clouds in the sky. There were many lightning bolts in the shape of dragons and snakes flashing inside. After consuming it, one's physical body will gradually transform into the Thunder God bone and the Thunder God bloodline. The pores and cells of the Thunder God body will slightly open and communicate with the thunder and lightning of heaven and earth. The divine power of the entire body will be invincible. After cultivating the Thunder God tyrant body, one will be able to tear immortals apart with their bare hands. Note: the medicinal effects of this pill are extremely overbearing and have extremely high requirements for one's physical body. If one's immortal body is not solid enough, there is a risk of exploding after consuming this pill. Among mortals, apart from those born with special bloodlines, those who consume this pill will die without a doubt. Each pill is worth 100,000 immortal stones, 848/10,000. Tao First Ancestral Body Pill, Tai Chi Combat Body Pill, Chaotic Tyrannical Body Pill, Berserk Demonic Body Pill, Purple Heaven Immortal Body Pill. Xiao Han discovered it in the treasure vault of the Ju Dao Immortal Emperor. There were many types of pills that could refine one's body. However, most of them were refined by immortals. If a mortal consumed them, the medicinal effects would immediately cause their body to explode and their soul to dissipate. They would be as dead as a doornail. However, it seemed like mortals with special bloodlines could still barely consume these pills. The number of immortal pills is slowly decreasing. It seems like there are quite a few Taoists who have exchanged for immortal pills to refine their bodies. Oh, I have to exchange for them quickly. If I'm delayed for too long and run out of pills, who am I going to complain to? Soon Xiao Han's mind began to compare and select the various immortal pills. In the end he chose the Thunder God Body Tempering Pill. I'll choose this Thunder God Body Tempering Pill. After all, the pill refined by an immortal emperor ranked 7th in the immortal world must be terrifyingly high quality. Furthermore, even though I don't have a special bloodline, I've cultivated the immortal golden body technique. Strictly speaking, I'm not considered immortal. I should be able to resist the strong medicinal effects for a while and won't explode and die. With that thought, Xiao Han's spiritual force came into contact with the symbol on the light screen. Then he locked onto the Thunder God Body Tempering Pill. In next to no time, an indifferent voice sounded out from the screen of light. Junior, Thunder God's Body Tempering Pill, 100,000 immortal stones for 1. Put in enough immortal stones and you can immediately obtain the corresponding Thunder God's Body Tempering Pill. I'll exchange for 4 pills first. Xiao Han took out 400,000 immortal stones from his storage ring and put them all into the light screen. The light screen absorbed all the immortal stones. Then, whoosh 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 whoosh, 4 pills mysteriously flew out from the light screen and floated in front of Xiao Han. They were within his reach. For a moment, the whole wooden house was filled with a strange fragrance. Lightning bolts that were as dense as dragons rolled out from the 4 elixirs. In an instant they swam around the wooden house and a heavy pressure enveloped the whole house. It caused Xiao Han to feel a chill all over his body. These lightning god's body tempering pills were pitch black in color, as if they were condensed from the dark clouds in the sky. Each pill was only the size of a walnut, but the interior of the pill seemed to contain a small world of lightning. Numerous lightning bolts in the shape of dragons and snakes constantly flickered, and within them, there were streaks of lightning that were as thick as buckets. They were entwined by a large formation, and indistinctly, a hymn that came from ancient times could be heard. Heavens! An immortal pill. This is an immortal pill. As expected, it's not something that the pills of the mortal world can compare to. Even the number 1 genius alchemist Yen Lang, in the countless planes of the heavens, is absolutely unable to refine such an immortal pill. It's too terrifying. It's as if each pill is a world of its own. Xiao Han held the 4 Thunder God Body Tempering Pills in his hand, and his entire body immediately felt as if it was immersed in violent lightning. It was a ghastly sight. What a pity. I only have these few immortal stones, so I can only exchange for these 4 immortal pills. If I could exchange for 40 or even 400, that would be great. Good. I, Xiao Han, will use these Thunder God Body Tempering Pills to refine my body. It will nourish and strengthen my body. It will allow the strength of my body to soar again. Chapter 474. Xiao Han spent 400,000 immortal stones to exchange for 4 immortal pills, the Thunder God's Body Tempering Pill. He was prepared to refine his body. At this moment, the Yun chivalrous token in his arms emitted a fluctuation. Xiaohan took it out and scanned it with his mind. It was a message from Xiao Mingqiu. Junior brother Xiaohan, we've settled down. Come out if you're free. Okay, eldest senior brother. I'll come out now, Xiaohan replied. Then he put the 4 Thunder God's body-tempering pills into his storage ring and walked out of the wooden house. Outside the wooden house where Xiaohan was staying. In a garden. Xiao Mingqiu, Luo Tianyu, a few chivalrous heroes, and Xiaohan's 5 chivalrous hero slaves gathered together. The sky was turning dark. The sky was filled with twinkling stars. Under the magnificent light, the entire terraced residential area seemed to be covered with a layer of clouds, like a dream. Xiaohan scanned the area with his mind and found that countless chivalrous heroes had already walked out of their wooden houses and were standing on the garden platform in front of the house, chatting in groups of 2 or 3. Xiaohan walked toward Xiao Mingqiu and the others. Junior brother Xiaohan, we've settled down. The immortal stones you gave me are enough for us to stay in this residential area for a long time, Xiao Mingqiu said with a smile. Xiaohan nodded. Then he said in a low voice. Eldest senior brother, have you decided to participate in the first round of the Immortal Stone competition tomorrow? Hearing this, Xiao Mingqiu's eyes flashed with a hint of relief. Tomorrow I'll fight. Xiao Mingqiu paused for a moment before continuing. Junior brother Xiaohan, I'm not the only one who's decided to fight tomorrow. Almost all the chivalrous heroes in our plane are going to fight and will not back down. Master, tomorrow. We'll fight too, Xiaohan's 5 chivalrous hero slaves said in a clear voice. Then, all right. Xiaohan smiled helplessly. To ease the atmosphere, Xiaohan pretended to be relaxed. Eldest senior brother, I believe that you'll be able to overcome all obstacles and turn misfortune into fortune. I'm just afraid that the chivalrous heroes in our plane will encounter each other. After all, the opponent that every chivalrous hero fights against is random. Haha, Xiao Mingqiu and the others laughed. Junior brother Xiaohan, almost all of the 40 million fiends are participating in the Immortal Stone competition. Thus, we are both demons of the same plane in a situation of mutual strife. The possibility of that happening is very small. Xiao Mingqiu laughed and then teased. Junior brother Xiaohan, if the 2 of us were to encounter each other, then... that would be fun. Xiaohan was also speechless. Junior brother Xiaohan. I presume you'll be participating in the Immortal Stone competition tomorrow, right? Xiao Mingqiu asked. This. Xiaohan hesitated for a moment. Eldest senior brother, I haven't made up my mind yet. Perhaps I won't be participating in the first few rounds of the competition. That's right, the rewards for the first few rounds of the competition were relatively small, thus it was not attractive enough for Xiaohan. Besides, Xiaohan was planning to refine the immortal pills perfectly before taking part in the competition. Alright, junior brother Xiaohan, you have your own plans. I won't interfere with your thoughts. Xiao Mingqiu nodded. Eldest senior brother, I will definitely watch your competition tomorrow, Xiaohan said solemnly. One night, Xiaohan, Xiao Mingqiu, Luo Tianyu, and the others chatted in this garden until the early hours of the next day. They chatted about everything under the sky. One had to know that Xiao Mingqiu, Luo Tianyu, and the others would participate in the competition once the sky brightened. Thus, this night might be the last night that the brothers would spend together. They cherished every minute and every second of it. The next day arrived. The first ray of light of the morning descended from the sky. Along with Immortal Emperor Ju Dao's voice transmission. Chivalrous heroes, please enter your residences. From now on, you can participate in the Immortal Stone competition that will take place every day. I wish you good luck. The first day of the Immortal Stone competition, the winner of the first round will receive 20,000 Immortal Stones as a reward. Wow! The entire terraced field area resounded with the exclamations and excited voices of countless demons. Then each of the demons returned to their own wooden houses. Junior brother Xiaohan, I'll go first. Xiao Mingqiu glanced at Xiaohan. Remember, if I die in battle, junior brother, please bury my corpse in the Harmony Mountain range. Eldest senior brother, you must have great luck. You won't die here. Xiaohan stretched out his hand and shook hands with Xiao Mingqiu. At this moment, the brotherhood reached its strongest and most splendid peak. Let's go. Xiao Mingqiu turned around and returned to his wooden house with Luo Tianyu and a few demons. You guys be careful too, Xiaohan instructed his 5 demon slaves. Xiao Mingqiu returned to his wooden house. At this moment, Xiao Mingqiu's eyes were filled with a blazing desire to fight, as well as the determination to fight to the death to survive. Xiao Mingqiu came to the light screen in the middle of the wooden house. With a mental fluctuation, he directly triggered the icon to apply for the Immortal Stone competition. Junior, I admire your courage very much. Welcome to the first round of the Immortal Stone competition. Your first opponent will be randomly selected. Now put your Immortal Stones into the brocade bag. An indifferent voice came from the light screen. Then, a beam of light was reflected from the light screen. Whoosh! After the beam of light condensed, it floated in front of Xiao Mingqiu. It was a light yellow brocade bag the size of a fist. Huh! Xiao Mingqiu was stunned, but he still took out the Immortal Stones from his storage ring. There were a total of 287 Immortal Stones, all given to him by Xiao Han. Xiao Mingqiu put all 287 Immortal Stones into the light yellow brocade bag. The light yellow brocade bag hummed and slowly moved to the top of Xiao Mingqiu's head. Begin choosing opponent. Hua hua hua. In the light screen a strange light burst out and a vortex appeared. The next moment, Junior, your opponent has been randomly selected. I wish you good luck. Boom. The vortex in the light screen suddenly exploded with a strong suction force, and Xiao Mingqiu's entire body was directly pulled into the light screen. On a square-shaped arena. This arena seemed to be located in a gap between space and time. There was only chaos in all directions. Xiao Mingqiu stood on the arena, and above his head, a light yellow brocade bag floated. In front of Xiao Mingqiu, tens of meters away, stood a black Taoist. This black Taoist had a braid and he was short. His gaze was fierce like a cheetah, and he carried two long and narrow sabers on his back. He glared at Xiao Mingqiu with a fiendish expression. Above his head, there was also a light yellow brocade bag that was exactly the same as Xiao Mingqiu's. An indifferent voice floated on the arena. The first day, the first round of the Immortal Stone competition begin. 2 Taoists participating in the competition. They each have 287 Immortal Stones. 1001 Immortal Stones. The winner will plunder the loser's Immortal Stones. The reward for this round is 20,000 Immortal Stones. Roar! Bastard! The black Taoist licked his lips, and his killing intent exploded. In his body streams of light shone. Waves of true energy of various colors rolled and rotated, and talisman formations rose from his body. Kill. Bastard, I will kill you. I will sacrifice your life to my saber. True energy level 8 talisman formation realm, the same realm as me. After entering the arena, Xiao Mingqiu's entire body stabilized, and he was as steady as a rock. Come. In Xiao Han's wooden house. Xiao Han stood next to the light screen, and his expression was extremely anxious and filled with great worry. It has begun. Today's Immortal Stone competition has begun. Eldest senior brother and the others are participating, and in this light screen we can see some scenes of the competition. I wonder who eldest senior brother's opponent is. Xiao Han's spirit wave swept across the light screen in a frenzy, rolling and rolling. One by one the scenes alternated and appeared as if looking at flowers on horseback. Oofed. Ha 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 ha. Die. You are too weak. Die. I will kill you. Ah. You actually have more than 10,000 Immortal Stones, all of them are mine. Ah. One by one bloody scenes appeared in Xiao Han's spirit wave sweep. On the arena some demons crushed their opponents in one move. In some battles the disparity between the strong and the weak was too great. Xiao Han even saw a battle between a true energy level 9 true treasure realm and a true energy level 6 expanded meridian realm. In a breath, the expanded meridian demons were crushed into pieces. Of course, there was no lack of demons with similar strength and they fought to the death with broken limbs and bodies. It was extremely tragic. Xiao Han's spirit wave was extremely powerful, and in a breath he could flip through tens of thousands of battle scenes. Eldest senior brother. Eldest senior brother's battle scenes. Quickly find eldest senior brother's battle scenes. Xiao Han was anxious to find Xiao Mingqiu's battle scenes in the first round. He was a little worried. It was shocking. Not long later, in the light screen the scene froze. On an arena, there was chaos all around. Boom. A black demon slashed at Xiao Mingqiu with his saber, and the saber chi shot out, turning into an evil dragon burning with black demonic flames, biting at Xiao Mingqiu. At the critical moment, Xiao Mingqiu's body turned into an afterimage, and he skillfully dodged this ultimate killing technique. In the next moment, poof, from Xiao Mingqiu's body, a giant flaming bird flew out. Its body was formed by countless true talismans, and it even formed talisman arrays, and the heat waves were monstrous. Ah! The giant flaming bird's huge body suddenly shrank to the size of a palm, and instantly passed through the black demon's body. The black demon let out a miserable howl like a wild wolf, and it tore his heart and lungs apart. His body burned and exploded. At the same time, a voice came from the light screen. The first round of the Celestial Stone competition on the first day has ended. The winner will receive a reward of 20,000 Celestial Stones and 1,001 Celestial Stones from the loser's brocade pouch. Phew, Xiao Mingchu's body relaxed, and looking at his facial expression, he suddenly knelt on the ground as if he had collapsed. I won. Suddenly Xiao Mingchu roared as if he was venting to his heart's content. Ah! My eldest senior brother won. Ah! In the wooden house, Xiao Han also burst into hysterical laughter. Then Xiao Han continued to use his mental power to flip through many scenes of the Celestial Stone competition. Xiao Han realized that the demons of his dimension and his 5 demon slaves were all unbelievably lucky. In the first round of the competition, almost all the opponents they encountered were weak. In Xiao Han's dimension, only 3 demons lost their lives. The rest all passed. Each of them won at least 20,000 Celestial Stones. Among them, one of Xiao Han's slaves defeated an opponent and obtained 40,987 Celestial Stones from the opponent. It could be said that he had made a huge profit. A few hours later, through my mental power, I found that on the first day the first round of the Celestial Stone competition only took place about 2 million times. In other words, out of the 40 million demons, only 4 million people participated in the competition on the first day. There are about 30 million demons who are watching. Perhaps they think that the Celestial Stone's reward for the first round of the competition on the first day is too little, and it is not worth participating. Alright, since eldest senior brother and big brother Luo Tianyu are both safe and sound, then I can finally put my heart at ease. Alright, I'll cultivate too. Xiao Han sat cross-legged on the couch and took out a Thunder God's body-tempering pill. The room was filled with lightning. Chapter 475. Xiao Han sat cross-legged on the bed. His mind calmed down. His saber intent cut off all distracting thoughts, and he gradually entered a state of no thoughts. The cells in his body opened and closed rhythmically. Rays of golden light shot out, making Xiao Han feel as if he was bathing in endless rays and golden light. He held the Thunder God's body-tempering pill in his hand. Rays of lightning, thin and dense, slithered into Xiao Han's body like snakes and dragons. Xiao Han's body seemed to be illuminated by the lightning. Occasionally it would show a transparent state. Traces of heavenly realm lightning could be seen swimming in Xiao Han's body. In Xiao Han's bones, organs, meridians, and blood, there was a sizzling sound. Xiao Han frowned slightly. I haven't taken this pill, but the medicinal aura has turned into lightning and seeped into my body. Yes, a mortal body can't absorb the medicinal effect of this pill. Instead, my body will burn and explode. The strength of my body is already extraordinary in the mortal world, but it is still very difficult for me to resist the medicinal effect of this Thunder God's body-tempering pill. Boom, boom, boom. Inside Xiao Han's body, there were waves of terrifying muffled thunder. Thunder shook. Xiao Han didn't use the indestructible golden body. He used the strength of his body to resist for a while. After about 2 hours, Xiao Han gradually couldn't take it anymore. Indestructible golden body. Suddenly the golden light on Xiao Han's body was restrained. The indestructible golden body was activated to the extreme by Xiao Han. Waves of heat surged and surged in Xiao Han's body. Like water flooding a mountain, it washed through Xiao Han's body. Finally, the golden light and the lightning intertwined. Xiao Han didn't move. With his mind, the golden light formed by the indestructible golden body started to swallow and refine the lightning. The lightning divine light turned into spots of light. It quickly fused into Xiao Han's organs, bones, blood, and every pore of his cells. Nourish. Grow. Then waves of numbing warmth quickly spread to Xiao Han's limbs and bones. Even the liquid mental power planet in his brain felt as if it was soaking in a hot spring. Full of satisfaction. Endless pleasure. Inadvertently, the strength of Xiao Han's flesh shell increased a little bit. Alright. The indestructible golden body did not disappoint me. The indestructible golden body can help me refine the immortal pill. Xiao Han no longer hesitated and finally put the Thunder God's body-tempering pill in his hand into his mouth. Although Xiao Han was eager to refine the Lightning God's body-tempering pill for the sake of the Celestial Stone competition, Xiao Han didn't dare to do so. In order to pave the way for him to break through the 20th spiritual finger technique of the destroying heavens decimating earth spiritual technique, Xiao Han would definitely not act rashly. Immortal pills were not something mortals could enjoy. Because immortal pills were made for immortals. There was a world of difference between the physique of an immortal and that of a mortal. It could be said that the two of them were creatures on completely different levels of life. Among mortals, even tower masters who had opened their heavenly eyes were known as half-immortal bodies. They would definitely not dare to directly consume an immortal pill. They could only use various medicines to harmonize it and pay attention to the principle of the monarch, the subject, and the assistant. Only then could they consume an immortal pill. Therefore, before consuming the immortal pill, Xiao Han first used his indestructible golden body to try and digest the medicinal properties of the immortal pill and succeeded. If I, Xiao Han, can refine the Thunder God body tempering pill, then it's a good thing. This is an immortal pill refined by the Thunder Emperor of the Celestial Realm. After consuming it, even my bones will become lightning bones. At that time, I don't even know to what extent my physical body will transform to. Xiao Han suddenly tossed the Thunder God's body tempering pill into his mouth. Boom! As the pill entered his mouth, it was as if billions of lightning bolts and a world of lightning suddenly rushed into Xiao Han's body. Indestructible golden body. Xiao Han guarded his mind and used all his strength to activate the indestructible golden body to its peak. The golden light was like an ocean rolling and rolling. A funnel-shaped golden vortex formed above Xiao Han's head. The densely packed electric arcs and lightning engulfed Xiao Han, and even wrapped him in a thick, lightning cocoon. Xiao Han was lodging in the garden outside a large wooden house in this area. At this moment, Xiao Mingqiu, Luo Tianyu, Yan Qi, and the other evil heroes as well as Xiao Han's 5 evil hero slaves, were all gathered together, looking extremely excited. I didn't expect our realm's performance to be so outstanding in the first round of the Celestial Stone competition. 3 of our evil heroes have fallen, and the rest have all defeated their opponents. Luo Tianyu sighed. In the competition just now, he had used 10 moves to blast a young evil hero with reddish-brown skin into powder. He had successfully obtained the Celestial Stone reward. Xiao Mingqiu's expression became slightly relaxed, but he did not dare to be too careless. The Celestial Stone reward for the first round of the competition is too little. I reckon that the true experts will not bother to participate in the first round of the competition. So, Xiao Mingqiu smiled slightly bitterly. I'm afraid what we've encountered are just rookies who are weaker than us. We can't be careless. We don't know what kind of strong enemies we'll encounter tomorrow. After a pause, Xiao Mingqiu said solemnly. The battle just now was quite enlightening for me. My opponent was actually very strong, but he underestimated me too much. That's why I was able to take advantage of him. In our plane, it's extremely difficult for me to meet an expert of this level, let alone a life-and-death battle like the one just now. I seem to have understood something. Even the true acupoints that have been sealed for a long time have loosened a little. Brother Xiao, in other words, the battle just now has given you some accumulation, causing the bottleneck of your cultivation to loosen a little? Luo Tianyu said in surprise. Yes. I'm at the 8th stage True Qi realm, the Talisman Formation realm, and my body has opened 78 true acupoints, but I've never succeeded in breaking through to the 79th true acupoint. I don't know how many times I've failed. I've been trapped in this realm of 78 true acupoints for as long as 100 years. However, after experiencing the battle just now, I can vaguely sense the location of the 79th true acupoint, and my soul is throbbing. It seems like it's time for me to break through my bottleneck. Congratulations, Brother Xiao. Luo Tianyu and the other fiend heroes congratulated him. Luo Tianyu and the other evil heroes said joyfully. At this time Luo Tianyu said again. That's right, Brother Xiao, I just sent a message to Brother Xiao Han, but he hasn't replied. I don't know what Brother Xiao Han is doing right now. Today he didn't participate in the first round of the first day of the Immortal Stone competition. We don't need to care about Junior Brother Xiao Han's matters. He knows what he's doing. I firmly believe that his talent is not inferior to any of the geniuses in any secular plane. Xiao Mingqiu said solemnly after a pause. Everyone return to your wooden houses and continue your cultivation. At this critical moment of life and death, under the tense atmosphere of the Immortal Stone competition, we will all obtain an indescribable accumulation, and our cultivation will definitely advance by leaps and bounds. Don't waste time, go back and cultivate. Sharpening a spear at the last moment is not bright, but it's still bright. With a slight increase in strength, our chances of survival will also increase by a little. All right. Everyone go back and cultivate. I'm going to go into seclusion for 3 days. During these 3 days of the Immortal Stone competition, I won't participate. I will directly participate in the 5th round of the Immortal Stone competition on the 5th day. One of Xiao Han's slaves said with certainty. At this time, boom, a wave of pressure that could cause one's willpower to collapse. In an instant, it enveloped Xiao Mingqiu and the others. Xiao Mingqiu and the others all felt as if they had fallen into an ice cellar. Their entire bodies trembled as if they were being stared at by some ferocious beast. Everyone raised their heads in fear. They only saw, a giant was standing in the void. He walked down with large strides. Around his body the space was completely distorted. Under the distorted space, it was impossible to distinguish his appearance. People could only vaguely see that his skin was black. It was a black man. Who? Xiao Mingqiu said with a trembling voice. Trash. You bunch of trash. You pigs and dogs. You. That black man stretched out his finger and pointed at Xiao Mingqiu. You bastard. You actually dared to kill my most beloved and youngest disciple. Unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable. Kino was only 300 years old. He was so young. Under my nurturing he would definitely become an immortal in the future. I didn't expect that he would be killed by a filthy creature from such a small plane like you. Damn it. Evil creature. His voice contained boundless resentment and hatred, as well as a terrifying evil intent. His voice rumbled and the surrounding space trembled as if it was about to shatter. It shouldn't have. Kino shouldn't have listened to my advice and participated in the 1st round of the Immortal Stone competition on the 1st day. That black man sighed with regret. So the black man that I killed on the arena just now was your disciple? Xiao Mingqiu completely understood and immediately smiled coldly. Sir, the Immortal Stone competition is decided by life and death. Moreover, the opponents are randomly selected. After entering the arena, if he doesn't die, then I will. This is the rule set by Immortal Emperor Ju Dao. Shut up. Kino can kill a filthy fellow like you, but you can't kill Kino. Now I will give you a chance. You immediately self-destruct. No, all of you must die. All the heroes in your plane, kill yourselves now. Self-destruct and die. Be buried with my beloved disciple, Kino. That black man's voice was fierce and his eyes were about to pop out as he roared. I will give all of you a chance. All of you commit suicide. This way, all living beings in your small plane will not be buried with you. Although this black man was strong, he didn't dare to violate the rules set by Immortal Emperor Ju Dao. He absolutely didn't dare to kill people outside of the Immortal Stone arena. Otherwise he would be obliterated. Brother Xiao, don't bother with this person. Let's go back. Luo Tianyu timidly pulled Xiao Mingqiu. Xiao Mingqiu and the other chivalrous heroes returned to their respective wooden houses. Roar. A group of ants. I will remember all of you. After I get out of this genius zone, I will definitely destroy your plane. I will refine all living beings in your plane alive. And you evil creatures, you better not meet me in the Immortal Stone competition or else. Roar. Chapter 476. After roaring for a while, the Black Yao warrior left in a huff. In a garden not far from where Xiao Han and the others were staying, a few arrogant and indifferent men watched the scene of the Black Yao warrior threatening Xiao Mingqiu. Heck, these ants. A giant man covered in black scale armor with an aura like that of an ancient deity that split the heavens and earth apart. Between his brows, there were endless flames and lightning intertwining. He withdrew his disdainful gaze and looked at the other men with powerful auras. The few of us didn't participate in the 1st round of the 1st day of the Celestial Stone competition. However, we all used our psychic waves to read and watch the competition today. Too boring. Really too boring. It's like children playing house. Haha. A true expert will not appear on the 1st day. The reward for the 1st day is merely 20,000 immortal stones. I don't care about it at all even if you give it to me for free. A devilish man with reddish-brown skin, an incomparably powerful golden sword light flashing above his head, and an unstoppable aura smiled mysteriously. The few of us, at least among the tens of millions of evil heroes, are outstanding powerhouses. Although we come from different planes, we appreciate each other and have become good friends. In our eyes, those weaklings are no different from pigs. In a few days we'll all enter the Celestial Stone competition. At that time, I hope we'll meet some slightly stronger fellows. Otherwise it'll be too boring. Ah. A majestic white-robed man who seemed to have formed his own world and the space around him seemed to be under his control laughed. Friends? Perhaps we will become enemies. A chestnut-haired youth in hemp garments looked extremely indifferent. He was playing with an immortal pill in his hand. Naga? The other Yao warriors all looked at him with fear. They looked at the chestnut-haired youth in hemp garments. Naga, tens of millions of Yao warriors randomly choosing their opponents. I'm afraid it will not be easy for us to meet him. Things are never coincidental. Am I right? Ah. The brown-skinned man with a powerful golden sword light above his head frowned. He immediately asked, Naga, when are you going to enter? It doesn't matter. It's killing anyway. I'll enter tomorrow to play. Naga smiled indifferently. Naga, you monster. Listen to the people in your plane. You can kill 1,000 ultimate mutated demon emperors with a single slash. You're amazing. If you join the battle, it'll be too bloody. You're too bloody? The giant man with black scales said with a smile. To be honest, I don't want to meet you. Naga, your goal is to become the champion of the Immortal Stone competition and obtain the most precious purple immortal key. I'm not as ambitious as you. I only earned enough immortal stones to exchange for some treasures and immortal keys to enter the second floor. I will be teleported out. Champion, you can slowly fight for it. Naga's back was like a sword, his aura soaring into the sky. Fighting for the championship is of course my only goal and pursuit. Of course I, Naga, am not afraid of geniuses. All geniuses will be trampled under my feet. Ha ha ha, how ambitious. These powerful heroes all laughed in a slightly flattering manner. Then they all said, why don't we all go in and play tomorrow? Ha ha ha. These supreme experts had gathered together and were talking loudly and boisterously. There were tens of millions of heroes here, and they disdained to interact with the weak. Suddenly the giant man with black scales asked Naga. Naga, you've been fiddling with this immortal pill, the 3-life sword chi pill. However, I don't think you dare to use it rashly. We've exchanged for some immortal pills for fun. It's indeed a treasure that transcends the mortal world. However, with our current cultivation base, we don't dare to use it rashly. Even if we want to use it, we must use other medicines to supplement it. That's right. It's impossible for mortals to directly use immortal pills. That's courting death. The few powerful heroes all agreed in unison. Heh, the corner of Naga's mouth pulled into a cold smile. Deep in his eye sockets, a hint of hidden disdain flashed past. Inside Xiaohan's wooden house. Xiaohan's mind was not distracted. He activated the indestructible golden body technique and refined the violent medicinal power of the Thunder God Body Refinement Pill. Crackle. Poochie, poochie, poochie. Xiaohan, who was bathed in the golden light, had countless electric sparks flickering on his body. His entire person had turned into a man of electricity. Every pore on his body continuously emitted small electric arcs in the shape of dragons and snakes. Once the void in the wooden house came into contact with these electric arcs, it would quickly collapse and begin to melt. The power of these electric sparks was actually so great. This was only the outside. Within Xiaohan's body, the power of the electric arcs was even greater. If not for the protection of the indestructible golden body technique, Xiaohan would not have been able to withstand it. Even though Xiaohan had cultivated the indestructible golden body technique, this tyrannical body tempering technique, if it were anyone else, even if they had a half-immortal body, as long as they dared to absorb the electric arcs into their body, they would most likely be instantly vaporized by the electric flames. Not only did Xiaohan activate the indestructible golden body technique to resist the electric arcs, but the golden light that filled his body also continuously devoured and dissolved the electric arcs, causing the electric arcs in the shape of dragons and snakes to be dismembered into tiny electric arcs. Then Xiaohan activated his mental strength and will, inch by inch, guided the huge medicinal power of the Thunder God Pill into his body. A large amount of electric energy, the power of the Thunder God, nourished and tempered Xiaohan's body. Every inch of his skin, every meridian, and especially his bones, were actually absorbing the electric energy. Gradually, the pure white color of his bones became shiny. Indistinctly, on each of his bones, mysterious markings of the heavenly realm's Thunder God could be seen. Each of his bones had a strong evil-destroying and killing power. His physical strength had broken through the previous shackles, and now it was rising steadily. 2 hours later, the electric arcs inside and outside of Xiaohan's body gradually dissipated, leaving only the brilliant and dazzling golden light shining. Absorbed completely. Xiao Han had perfectly absorbed the medicinal power of the Thunder God Body Refinement Pill. Awesome. An immortal pill is indeed an immortal pill. Just one immortal pill made my physical strength pure. It broke through 100 million. Moreover, the effect of this Thunder God Body Refinement Pill. Not only did it increase my strength, but it also made my body more well-proportioned and solid. Every muscle in my body is perfect and has the element of thunder and lightning. Seems. Xiao Han sorted out his words and then slapped his forehead. That's right, it's a celestial pill. Gradually it changed my body a little. Xiao Han vaguely knew. In this universe there were countless living beings, and among them there were some people with special physiques. This kind of person would not appear in 1 in a billion. Even in a large realm with billions of people, it was rare to find such a person. The tip of the iceberg. Tai ancestral body. Purple heaven divine body. True dragon unparalleled body. Overwhelming immortal body. Beast king battle body. Cultivating the indestructible golden body refinement technique has changed my physique. It caused my physique to transform, and now it has transformed into Thunder God Tyrant body. Moreover, because of the transformation of his physique, Xiao Han could now perfectly perform 1 to 100 movements of the indestructible golden body incantation. Like floating clouds and flowing water, as if it was made by nature. This set of indestructible golden body incantation could be considered to have been completely cultivated. Xiao Han stood up and slightly stretched his muscles and bones. Now, every wisp of lightning that shot out from his body was completely devoured and refined into his body. He had absorbed all the medicinal power of this Thunder God Body Refinement Pill without a trace of wastage. Now, his entire person seemed to have slightly changed a little. His skin was crystal clear and fair, and there seemed to be nothing special about it. However, if one had a good eye, they would be able to see that every inch of his pores seemed to be a world of thunder and lightning. In both of his pupils, there were also faint lightning runes flashing, and the depths of every strand of his hair contained a trace of lightning from the celestial realm. All the bones in his body had grown a few inches taller, and his height had increased a little. However, his physique was very well proportioned and did not look awkward. Instead, it looked very perfect. This kind of perfection was not the perfection of a weak scholar. Upon closer inspection, there was a strong sense of wildness and aggressiveness. His whole body had a kind of outward expansion, and it was extremely fierce and explosive. Between his movements, there was a kind of fierceness that could tear everything apart. Good, very good. Xiao Han was very satisfied. However, to completely transform my body into the Thunder God Tyrant body, just 1 Thunder God Body Refinement Pill is completely not enough, far from enough. But Xiao Han calculated in his heart. His mental strength was extremely strong. Therefore, his calculation ability was also frighteningly meticulous. At least 10,000 Thunder God Body Refinement Pills are needed to successfully evolve my body into the Thunder God Tyrant body. The Thunder God Tyrant body is one of the special celestial bodies in the upper realm. Cultivating the Thunder God Tyrant body will not lose to ordinary celestials in terms of body. But 10,000 Thunder God Body Refinement Pills. Xiao Han felt his scalp go numb when he thought about it. It's too terrifying. 1 Thunder God Body Refinement Pill is worth 100,000 celestial stones, then 1 billion celestial stones. Xiao Han almost fainted from the shock. Moreover, putting aside the celestial stones, there are less than 10,000 Thunder God Body Refinement Pills in the Giant Hall's treasure vault. A lot of them have been exchanged by other heroes. Xiao Han felt a little headache. After thinking about it for a while, he put aside the distracting thoughts and consumed the remaining 3 Thunder God Body Refinement Pills. The medicinal effects were all absorbed and refined, leaving not a single drop behind. Late at night, after consuming 4 Thunder God Body Refinement Pills consecutively, Xiao Han's physique was further improved, and he had the embryonic form of the Thunder God Tyrant body. Moreover, his physical strength had reached 300 million cauldrons. At this moment, Xiao Han stretched out his hand slightly, and a large ball of electric light rose from the pores of his hand, crackling and tearing the air apart. Under the grasp of this Thunder God's hand, it seemed that nothing could escape. Alright, I've used up all the elixirs and my cultivation has come to an end. Tomorrow I'll exercise a little and participate in the second round of the Celestial Stone competition. Celestial Stones. Now I need to earn a lot of Celestial Stones. At this moment, Xiao Han finally understood the importance of Celestial Stones. With Celestial Stones he could exchange for more Thunder God Body Refinement Pills. With Celestial Stones he could exchange for Divine Beast Eggs. With celestial stones he could exchange for celestial weapons. With celestial stones, he could exchange for celestial keys to enter the second level of Immortal Emperor Ju Dao's treasure vault. Celestial stones. Celestial stones. Celestial stones. Only by fighting and defeating opponents can I obtain celestial stones. Chapter 477. After taking 4 Thunder God body tempering pills in a row, Xiao Han's body gradually developed the rudimentary form of the Thunder God mighty body. It was an immortal body. Logically, it was almost impossible for mortals to take immortal pills, but Xiao Han was a freak. Everything he did was out of everyone's expectations. He completely did not play by the rules. It was heaven-defying. Once Xiao Han obtained 10,000 Thunder God body refinement pills, he would be able to cleanse his body and perfect his Thunder God tyrannical body. At that time, he would become one of the few monstrous geniuses in the mortal world who could condense a true immortal physique. The Thunder God mighty body was much stronger than most half-immortal bodies at the Tower Master level. Of course, Xiao Han was still very far away from the real Thunder God mighty body. Crackle. Electricity was spurting out of Xiao Han's pores. With a thought, Xiao Han used the spirit turtle's true chi and completely concealed his life force and bearing. Even the shadow of the heavenly realm Thunder World deep in his eye sockets was covered. Xiao Han looked very ordinary at first glance. In fact, it was very ordinary. The true chi cultivation methods I've practiced have basically all become useless now. Only the spirit turtle's true chi has remained in use until now. It's the only method I can use to hide my tracks. Xiao Han nodded in satisfaction. Then Xiao Han took out the evil hero token and sent a message to Xiao Mingqiu. Eldest senior brother, I haven't congratulated you on passing the first round of the Immortal Stone competition. If you have time, can you come out for a chat? We can have a good chat. As soon as the message was sent, Xiao Mingqiu replied. Junior brother Xiao Han, I'll wait for you in the garden outside. The sky was full of stars. The night was as beautiful as a painting. In the garden full of fragrant immortal fruits. Xiao Han plucked quite a few immortal fruits and wolfed them down, feeling extremely satisfied. Soon Xiao Mingqiu, Luo Tianyu, many evil heroes from Xiao Han's dimension, and Xiao Han's 5 evil hero slaves all arrived at the garden to meet Xiao Han. The atmosphere tonight was particularly relaxed. There was no suffocating pressure like last night. Xiao Mingqiu and the others. He had successfully passed the first round of the Immortal Stone competition. Not only did he come back from the gates of hell, his temperament had also been tempered. Eldest senior brother, big brother Luo, I noticed that your aura seemed to have changed? Xiao Han said in surprise. Ha, little brother Xiao Han, you really have good eyesight. You can even perceive such a subtle change. Luo Tianyu laughed heartily. That's right. After today's battle of life and death, we've learned a lot. It's been a long time since I've had this feeling of hovering between life and death. It's very exciting. Xiao Mingqiu said meaningfully. Then he looked at Xiao Han. Junior brother Xiao Han, if nothing unexpected happens, let's fight again. As long as I don't die, I will be able to officially step into the 9th stage of True Chi, the ranks of the True Treasure Realm. Congratulations, eldest senior brother. Xiao Han said with a sincere smile. After a pause, Xiao Han scanned the crowd again. By the way, what are your plans? Junior brother Xiao Han, we're going to go into seclusion for a few days to digest the insights we've gained today. After that, we'll fight again. I'm not in a hurry to fight again, Xiao Mingqiu said bluntly. Xiao Han, I'm going to fight again and gather enough immortal stones to exchange for an immortal pill. Then I'll teleport away. After returning to the plane, I'll invite a top-notch alchemist. They'll concoct some neutralizing pills for me. After that, I'll try to consume this immortal pill. A sexy and charming female Taoist who was saved by Xiao Han in the hallucinatory demon palace smiled gently. She looked at Xiao Han with a deeply infatuated look. Little brother Xiao Han, I'm also going to fight a few more battles. If possible, I'd like to exchange for an immortal art manual, Luo Tianyu said smugly. Then he changed the topic. Little brother Xiao Han, what's your plan? When are you going to enter the battlefield? Tomorrow. Xiao Han stretched his body. Deep in his eye sockets, a fearless battle intent rose. I'll also enter the battlefield tomorrow. Ha ha. Junior brother Xiao Han, you're finally itching for a fight. Let's fight. I'm very optimistic about you. You've overcome all the obstacles and obtained a large number of immortal stones. Xiao Mingqiu said with a smile. However, he quickly reminded, But this immortal stone competition is also about luck. The opponents are randomly determined. I'm afraid that junior brother Xiaohan will encounter some abnormal monsters when you fight. This is indeed a headache, Luo Tianyu said with a frown. Little brother Xiaohan, after observing, we've all discovered that among the tens of millions of Taoists, there are some who are really too abnormal. Even their life levels are higher than the Taoists from the weaker planes. Even the elders of our plane are probably not a match for those monsters. There are even some Taoists who have hidden themselves well. Their strength has completely exceeded our estimation. Thank you for your advice, big brother Luo. But it's alright. My luck can't be that bad, right? Besides, tomorrow is the second round of the Immortal Stone competition. Even if I win, I'll only get 40,000 Immortal Stones as a reward. I'm afraid those monstrous geniuses won't even bother to participate. That should be the case. Alright, junior brother Xiaohan, go back and rest first. Conserve your energy for tomorrow's battle. We'll all try to use our psyche waves to flip through the scenes of tomorrow's competition. I hope to find your battle scene so that we can cheer for you. Okay, then I'll go back first. Xiaohan smiled slightly. It was a silent night. Time passed. Finally, the second day arrived. The first ray of light of the morning descended from the sky, along with Immortal Emperor Ju Dao's voice transmission. Fellow Taoists, please enter the courtyard where you live. From now on, the second round of the Immortal Stone competition will officially begin on the second day. You've roughly looked through the first round of the competition yesterday through your psyche waves, right? You should all be very clear about the rules, right? In that case, everyone stop watching and fight. I hope that you can continue to work hard, fight steadily, and soar all the way. The second day of the Immortal Stone competition, the second round. The winner will receive 40,000 Immortal Stones as a reward. In Xiaohan's wooden house. Xiaohan stood in front of the light screen. In the depths of Xiaohan's eye sockets, there was already a burning battle intent, rolling and steaming. His entire body was like a beautiful pearl or a beautiful jade, shining brightly with lightning flashes in between. In a trance, the image of the world of lightning in the celestial realm appeared in his eyes, and the liquid mental power planet in his brain and sea of consciousness appeared. With a slight rhythm, a thick natal saber chi, like an ancient divine dragon, entrenched in the middle of Xiaohan's spiritual power planet, being nourished by the spiritual power. Occasionally, a trace of supreme saber chi would seep out of Xiaohan's sea of consciousness, cutting the air, making a sizzling sound. Get ready to fight. Yesterday in the first round of the Immortal Stone competition. More than 40 million Taoists, only 4 million people participated. Less than 10% of the participating Taoists survived. I wonder how many Taoists will participate today. I wonder who my first opponent will be. What will it look like? Forget it, I don't care, fight. Suddenly, Xiaohan's psyche wave directly triggered the application for the Immortal Stone competition. Junior, I admire your courage very much. Welcome to the second day, the second round of the Immortal Stone competition. Your opponent will be randomly determined. Now, put your Immortal Stones into the brocade pouch. An indifferent voice came from the light screen. Then, a beam of light refracted from the light screen. Whoosh, after the beam of light condensed. It floated in front of Xiaohan. It was a light yellow brocade pouch the size of a fist. Before the battle, I have to bet all my Immortal Stones into this yellow brocade pouch. Yesterday, eldest senior brother told me this rule. I'll put all my Immortal Stones into the brocade pouch. With a thought, Xiaohan put all the Immortal Stones in his storage ring into the yellow brocade pouch. Although he had shared a portion of the Immortal Stones with Xiao Mingqiu and the others, and he had used up another 400,000 Immortal Stones, the number of Immortal Stones that Xiaohan had put into the yellow brocade pouch had reached 159,876. The light yellow brocade pouch hummed and slowly moved to the top of Xiaohan's head. Begin choosing opponent. Whoosh, 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 in the light screen, a strange light burst out and a vortex appeared. The next moment, Junior, your opponent has been randomly selected. I wish you good luck. Boom. The vortex in the light screen suddenly exploded with a powerful suction force, and Xiaohan's entire body was directly pulled into the light screen. On a square-shaped arena. This arena seemed to be located in a crack in space, and there was only chaos in all directions. Xiaohan stood on the arena, and a light yellow brocade pouch floated above his head. In front of Xiaohan, a few dozen meters away, stood a young man who looked even younger than Xiaohan. This young man had a mature aura, and he looked to be in his early 20s. His eyes were very sharp, and in his eyes, the true talismans formed a large formation that rotated in the sky, emitting a vast aura. Above his head was a light yellow brocade pouch that was exactly the same as Xiao Han's. This brocade pouch also contained all the youth's belongings, including all his immortal stones. He looked at Xiao Han and suddenly he burst into wild and unbridled laughter. He said crazily, "Ha! Luck! Luck! Ah! I Zhuo Xiaofeng actually have such luck. Ah! In the second round of the Immortal Stone competition, I actually met a level 6 True Qi Expansion Realm weirdo. Ah! That's like an ant. Ah! I killed him in an instant. Ah!" Xiao Han hadn't expected his opponent to lose his composure so quickly. However, Xiao Han now had a clear understanding of his opponent's situation. Level 8 True Qi Talisman Formation Realm. Judging from his aura, he's about the same level as eldest senior brother. However, he's only a few hundred years younger than eldest senior brother. My surname is Xiao. Please enlighten me, Xiao Han said politely. Enlighten me? There's no need for that. I want you dead. Now let me tell you. I Zhuo Xiaofeng am a famous figure in my dimension's monster world. I'm known as a genius and I've had many fortuitous encounters. One of them was falling into an ancient savage beast's blood pool, but I didn't die. Instead, I was nourished and blessed by the savage beast's divine blood. My true qi improved greatly, and the quality of my true qi was not something an ordinary person could compare with. An acupoint enlargement by 487 times is rare in the world. For someone like me, it's indeed an insult to my status to fight a lowly expanded acupoint realm brute like you. I'm telling you so much so that you'll back off. It's not too late for you to commit suicide now. I'm giving you permission to commit suicide now, or I'll let you know the meaning of endless pain. The young man was extremely pleased with himself as he spoke eloquently. Xiao Han frowned slightly and smiled faintly. Screw you, the one next door. Chapter 478. Xiao Han participated in the second round of the Immortal Stone competition on the second day and encountered an 8-stage True Qi Talisman Formation Realm opponent who spoke arrogantly and asked Xiao Han to commit suicide. Just at this moment, an indifferent voice rang out from the arena. The second round of the Immortal Stone competition begins on the second day. The two contestants will each receive 1156 Immortal Stones and 159876 Immortal Stones. The winner will take the loser's Immortal Stones. The prize for this round is 40,000 Immortal Stones. Roar? All of a sudden, Xiao Han's opponent let out a terrifying roar like that of a wild beast. He became hysterical and completely insane. 159,876 Immortal Stones. Ah, my luck. This is my Zhuo Xiaofeng's luck. I'd never imagined that this puny pig would have so many Immortal Stones. Ah. 159876 Immortal Stones. I can exchange them for the immortal pill I've been dreaming of. Ah. Pig, looks like you're quite lucky to have picked up so many Immortal Stones in the Genius Zone. However, it's all for me, Zhuo Xiaofeng. Die. Zhuo Xiaofeng's face was filled with viciousness. Rumble. Suddenly, a demonic aura as vast as the mountains and seas appeared on his body. Each aura could suppress 100 beasts and subdue the demons. Just this aura alone was not something an ordinary Talisman Formation Realm cultivator could compare to. He was definitely an outstanding talent even among Talisman Formation Realm cultivators. His thunderous attack could be said to be like a surging storm that eclipsed the sun and moon. All sorts of Talisman formations were added to Zhuo Xiaofeng's attack. However, just as Zhuo Xiaofeng's aura climbed to its most violent peak and he attacked brazenly, Xiao Han also attacked. No, to be precise, Zhuo Xiaofeng did not even see how Xiao Han had attacked. Xiao, a faint saber light flickered rapidly like a heavenly steed soaring through the sky, leaving no trace of its trajectory. The saber light was grand and magnificent, its aura sharp and murderous. It did not make one feel the sharpness of the saber Dao. Instead, there was a trace of the Dao. That one saber strike actually unleashed the torrential aura of saber Dao. This blade was vast, majestic like a god, like divine punishment, like a heavenly rule. Like the wrath of the heavens, it was untraceable, yet it truly existed. This was the terror of the great accomplishment stage saber intent. It made it so that the opponent could not resist at all, and could only submit to the saber Dao. Xiao Han did not want to get entangled with Zhuo Xiaofeng at all. He immediately slashed out with his natal saber chi at the great accomplishment stage. This slash probably consumed all of Xiao Han's sea of consciousness. It was 1/50th of his natal saber chi. Just 1/50th of his life saber chi was not something that a stage 8 true chi talisman formation realm could block. All of Zhou Xiaofeng's attacks were instantly pulverized by the saber intent. The saber light was as dazzling as fireworks, and a bloody gash suddenly appeared on Zhou Xiaofeng's face. Then the clothes on his body were cut open. In the next moment his body exploded. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere. Instant kill. In front of Xiao Han's great perfection saber intent, the so-called super geniuses of a certain dimension could not even stand a chance. He was no different from a chicken or a stray dog. Phew, my saber intent is becoming more and more powerful now. Killing an ordinary opponent is as easy as chopping melons and vegetables, effortless. The tempering of my mental strength and saber intent in the hallucinatory demon palace is truly effective. Xiao Han smiled faintly. At this moment, that indifferent voice once again resounded in the arena. The second round of the Immortal Stone competition has ended. The winner will receive a reward of 40,000 Immortal Stones and 1156 Immortal Stones from the loser's silk pouch. Night. Xiao Han was lodging in the garden outside the wooden house area. Xiao Han, Xiao Mingqiu, Luo Tianyu, and the others were gathered together and chatting happily. Ah! Junior brother Xiao Han, congratulations on your successful victory. I didn't manage to find any footage of you competing today. Had junior brother Xiao Han, you said that your opponent was a stage 8 true chi talisman formation realm cultivator. How was it? Did you beat him easily? Xiao Mingqiu said with a smile. So. Xiao Han shrugged with a smile. Tomorrow is the third day, the third round of the Immortal Stone competition. Junior brother Xiao Han, will you still participate? Xiao Mingqiu asked with a smile. Yes. Xiao Han nodded heavily. Judging from today's competition, most of the chivalrous heroes are still holding a wait-and-see attitude. Today's competition is even fewer than yesterday's. Today only about 1 million competitions have been held. Tens of millions of demons are hesitating. They probably don't care about the reward of tens of thousands of Immortal Stones. As the competition progresses, the Immortal Stones reward will increase, and the true experts will appear. However, I'm eager to obtain the Immortal Stones, so I won't wait any longer. Let's continue fighting. A night. Xiao Han sat cross-legged on the soft couch in the wooden house. In his brain and sea of consciousness, a bright and resplendent halo of mental strength spread out. After a few hours of nourishment, the natal saber chi that Xiao Han had used in today's battle was finally replenished. Heck, it's easy to replenish the natal saber chi that I used up today. Xiao Han smiled faintly. The third day, the third round of the Immortal Stone competition. In the arena, standing opposite Xiao Han was a bald demon with an aquiline nose. His eyes shot out a sharp light as if they were going to pierce through space. The light yellow brocade pouch above his head actually contained a total of 53,876 Immortal Stones. His voice was hoarse as if two treasured sabers were rubbing against each other. You brat who still smells of your mother's milk. Pooh! Suddenly a saber light flashed and the bald demon with an aquiline nose was directly cut into pieces. His entire body was executed by 1,000 cuts. 1/50th of the natal saber chi. Xiao Han smiled confidently. The third day, the third round of the Immortal Stone competition has ended. The winner will receive a reward of 80,000 Immortal Stones and 53,876 Immortal Stones from the loser's brocade pouch. Hey, not bad. I've earned quite a lot today. In this way, the number of Immortal Stones I have will be close to 300,000. Xiao Han was indeed very satisfied. The fourth day. The fourth round of the Immortal Stone competition. A proud and aloof demon in white died under Xiao Han's saber. 1/50th of the natal saber chi. This round, just the reward alone has reached 160,000 Immortal Stones. Moreover, I've also plundered 100,000 Immortal Stones from this guy. The fifth day, the fifth round of the Immortal Stone competition. Xiao Han won. Still used 1/50th of the saber chi. Reward 320,000 Immortal Stones. Obtained 130,000 Immortal Stones. Sixth day, the sixth round of the Immortal Stone competition. Xiao Han won. Still used 1/50th of the saber chi. Reward 640,000 Immortal Stones. Obtained 330,000 Immortal Stones. Seventh day, the seventh round of the Immortal Stone competition. Xiao Han won. Still used 1/50th of the saber chi. Reward 1. 28 million immortal stones. Obtained 680,000 immortal stones. Xiao Han's aura was like a rainbow. In the consecutive immortal stone competitions, he used 1/50th of the saber chi to instantly kill his opponent. He would definitely not use a second saber, nor would he use a trace of the natal saber chi. To kill the enemy, his control of the heat was perfect. Moreover, the number of immortal stones that Xiao Han had accumulated had reached millions. This overwhelming victory was unstoppable. However, now that the immortal stone competition had reached this stage, more and more evil heroes were participating in the battles. Many experts finally revealed their terrifying combat strength that was close to abnormal. A chestnut-haired young man in linen clothes with a sword on his back. His expression was extremely cold. This person was the top expert among the tens of millions of genius evil heroes. Naga. Standing in front of Naga was a middle-aged evil hero with green curly hair. His cultivation had actually reached the 9th level of true chi, the true treasure realm. As soon as he entered the arena, he took out his true treasure, a long earthy yellow rope that was extremely intelligent. As it swayed, it was like a dragon or a snake. Ah, kid, together with the millions of immortal stones in your pouch. Then the 8th round's reward is also more than 2 million immortal stones. Ah, this is too good. Too good. After killing you, I can get enough immortal stones to exchange for the immortal key. Ah, kid. I used my mind power to look through the scenes of your previous battles. Indeed, you are very powerful, killing people with one sword. But in front of me, it is useless. All the people you killed were at the 8th level of true chi formation realm. And I am at the 9th level of true chi formation realm. And you are only at the peak of true chi formation realm. You can kill those at the true treasure realm, but facing me, who is 2 large realms higher than you have no chance of winning. You are hitting a rock with an egg. You cannot counterattack. I will let you know now that 2 realms higher is enough to crush you to death. So much nonsense. Even a 9th level of true chi can be killed with one sword. The chestnut-haired Naga's mouth twitched with disdain. In the next moment, a blood-red sword light lit up. Naga's figure instantly blurred, almost disappearing. Bo, 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 bo. Then the sword light spread out like a tide. Blood splattered everywhere. In a breath, the powerful evil hero at the 9th level of true chi formation realm was directly cut into pieces by the blood-red sword light. Naga, at the peak of the 7th level of true chi formation realm, directly skipping 2 large realms to kill a 9th level expert at the beginning. Inside Xiao Han's wooden house. Coincidentally, Xiao Han's mind power saw Naga's battles. Xiao Han frowned, so strong. This guy is too monstrous. His true chi realm is very low, but his sword is very frightening. He can skip realms and instantly kill a true treasure realm expert. Unbelievable. What kind of monster is this? Xiao Han was shocked by Naga's battle strength. Not only Naga, under Xiao Han's mind power, he found at least 10 heaven-defying evil heroes whose battle strength was on par with Naga. This is really getting more and more interesting. If I can defeat these supreme experts, my accumulation will be very terrifying. Suddenly, Xiao Han's eyes were filled with an immortal battle intent. At the same time, in the light screen, ripples flickered. Thunder God body refining pills were exchanged by Xiao Han. Let's take a break for a few days and properly refine my body, Xiao Han decided. After a few days of battle, Xiao Han had accumulated a total of 4 million immortal stones. He did not hold back at all and exchanged for a total of 40 Thunder God body refining pills. Xiao Han was preparing to improve his body once again. The more Thunder God body refining pills he used, the closer Xiao Han was to successfully create the immortal body. Thunder God Tyrant body. P.S. These few days my wife has been hospitalized for a small surgery. I have to go to the hospital every day to take care of her, so I'm a little slow in updating. When my wife's condition is a little better, I will write more. I hope everyone can understand. Chapter 479. After 7 days of continuous battles, Xiao Han won successively like a hot knife through butter, and he obtained the reward of a few million immortal stones in one go and exchanged them for an entire 40 Thunder God body tempering pills. I won't fight for now. I'll go into seclusion and digest these 40 Thunder God body tempering pills. I'll make the best use of them and make my body even more violent. Xiao Han told Xiao Mingqiu about his decision to go into seclusion. Eldest senior brother, I've decided to go into seclusion for a few days. It was now the 8th day of the Celestial Stone competition. Tomorrow would be the 9th round of the Celestial Stone competition, and the number of Celestial Stones as a reward would reach a terrifying amount of over 5 million. Such a reward would definitely move the hearts of the true geniuses. As long as I win the 9th round, it's equivalent to directly getting a spot to enter the 2nd level of the Judao Immortal Emperor's treasure. Tomorrow the Immortal Stone competition will be completely heated up. There are many experts. Eldest senior brother, you must be careful. Yes, junior brother Xiaohan, I know what I'm doing. These few days I'm trying to break through the barrier of the True Qi Level 9 True Treasure Realm. I won't be fighting for a while, Xiao Mingchu replied. If that's the case, junior brother Xiaohan, go into seclusion. Inside Xiaohan's wooden house. The light screen in the middle of the wooden house flickered with brilliant lights. Xiaohan stood in front of the light screen, his mind fluctuating continuously. Yes, after the first 8 rounds, some of the more than 40 million evil heroes were killed by their opponents, while others knew what was good for them and teleported away. Now, there are about 15 million evil heroes left. From tomorrow onwards, the reward of immortal stones is too tempting. 15 million evil heroes. As long as they have the slightest bit of ambition and aspiration, they will participate in the battle. Many geniuses are risking their lives. Cruel, tragic. Yes. I have to seize the time to cultivate, I can't lose to others. Late at night, Xiaohan stood tall and straight in the wooden hut. His entire body was wrapped in lightning and golden light, and crackling sounds were coming out of his body. His entire aura had the aura of an ancient thunder god. His gaze moved slightly as if a divine punishment was about to descend. Suddenly, bolts of lightning appeared out of nowhere and suddenly struck down, bombarding Xiaohan's body. These bolts of lightning were as thick as water buckets, and there seemed to be formations and talismans coiling around them. This didn't seem to be the lightning of the mortal world, but divine lightning of the immortal world. There didn't seem to be any power that could resist the divine punishment from the immortal world. The heavenly wrath of the immortal world. Under the bombardment of this kind of divine lightning, there was no way a mortal could survive. He would most likely be blasted into nothingness and dust in an instant. But Xiaohan could withstand it. With the foundation of the Thunder God body tempering pills that he had consumed previously, he possessed the initial form of the Thunder God tyrant body. With the protection of the indestructible golden body, not only could Xiaohan safely withstand the violent medicinal power of the Lightning God's body tempering pill, he could even perfectly absorb the medicinal power and transform it into a tonic to nourish his body. As he refined the Lightning God's body tempering pills one after another, Xiaohan's physical strength rose steadily. During the process of refining the immortal pill and tempering his body, Xiaohan had entered into a state where he was alone, and he'd completely forgotten the passage of time. The cruelty of the immortal stone competition seemed to have nothing to do with Xiaohan anymore. Everything, whether it was life or death, honor or disgrace, success or failure, or the immortal emperor's treasure, it didn't matter. In a situation where his state of mind was extremely calm, Xiaohan's soul and mental strength were also becoming more and more stable. As the strength of his physical body rose, the upper limit of his mental strength also steadily increased. The great accomplishment stage saber intent was becoming more and more mellow and sharp. His understanding of the saber Dao was further enhanced. God knew how many days had passed. Finally, Xiaohan thoroughly absorbed and refined all 40 Thunder God body tempering pills cleanly. In the wooden house, the spectacle of lightning and thunder also disappeared without a trace. Everything returned to normal. Phew! Xiaohan lightly exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. His breath seemed to contain the explosive and violent power of lightning. It was as if a single breath was enough to blow away an expert and turn a mountain into black ashes. Xiaohan's body and limbs were stretched out as much as they could. All the power of lightning was deeply hidden in the pores of every cell. Moreover, in Xiaohan's body, his blood was now the color of a colored glass. It was spotless, without any dirt or impurities. It was like the starry night sky, like the blue sea and blue sky, like the blazing sun. So comfortable. 40 Thunder God's body refinement pills have transformed my body once again. Right now, my body is clearly no longer an ordinary body. It has a little bit of the demeanor of an immortal body. And my strength? Xiaohan's eyes flashed with a sharp light. His right hand slightly stretched out and grabbed the air. Now, I don't use any cultivation technique or methods, nor do I use any demonic techniques. My physical strength alone has already reached 6 billion ding. Moreover, my physical attack contains the power of the heavenly realm's lightning god. Unbelievable. 40 immortal pills actually made Xiaohan's pure physical strength reach 6 billion ding. This kind of physical strength was not inferior to the strength of a pure-blooded Pai Xiao and a pure-blooded Great Luan. It made Xiaohan completely look like a ferocious beast in human form. With this kind of strength he could crush a mountain with just a finger. Moreover, after his physical body became stronger, not only did his attack power become stronger, his jumping ability, explosive power, physical strength, endurance. All of these were rising steadily. What was more terrifying was the lightning attribute in his attacks. This was the lightning attribute of the heavenly realm. Compared to the lightning attribute true Qi divine technique in the mortal world, it was countless times more powerful. It could be said that Xiaohan could compete with many geniuses with just his physical strength without using his natal saber Qi. Moreover, Xiaohan had a greater ambition. Now, I have only consumed 44 lightning god body tempering pills and I already have such a terrifying effect. My physical strength has reached 6 billion ding. What if I consume 10,000 lightning god body tempering pills to create the thunder god tyrant body? This is simply unimaginable. I can definitely tear an immortal apart with my bare hands. Ah. Xiaohan counterattacked. It was definitely a counterattack. The counterattack of a mortal. It was impossible for a mortal to consume immortal pills. Even if they could only consume a few immortal pills at most. They had reached their limit. If they consumed too much they would definitely die. But Xiaohan could consume a large amount of immortal pills. This was absolutely unimaginable. Immortal pills. Pills that were specially made for immortals. Any mortal could use them. A miracle would definitely appear. Therefore, it was not strange that Xiaohan could transform his body to this state in a short period of time. The pure strength of my left arm's demon god palm is about 9 billion ding. However, I am confident that my physical strength can surpass the strength of my left arm's demon god palm in one fell swoop in a short period of time. Xiaohan was very sure. I need lightning god body tempering pills. I need more lightning god body tempering pills. I, Xiaohan, will successfully create an immortal body in the mortal world. For a moment, Xiaohan was also filled with ambition. Now, let's see how far the immortal stone competition has progressed. I want to participate in the battle. I want to earn immortal stones. Xiaohan shouted in his heart. His mental power fluctuated and swept across the light screen. He directly checked the inventory of lightning god body tempering pills. There are still 8,038 left. The inventory is not bad. It seems that there are no more monsters coming to exchange for this lightning god body tempering pill. Not bad. Xiaohan smiled with satisfaction. This lightning god body tempering pill seems to be specially prepared for me, Xiaohan. Then he looked at the situation of the immortal stone competition. The 12th day. The immortal stone competition has already progressed to the 12th day. TSK. I didn't expect that I would cultivate in seclusion for a whole 4 days. Then Xiaohan scanned the situation of the immortal stone competition in detail. Then Xiaohan obtained some data. 1. The immortal stone competition had progressed to the 12th day. The 12th round. The reward of immortal stones had already reached a shocking 96 million. This was too terrifying. Tens of millions of immortal stones were enough to exchange for a blue or even a blue key. Moreover, the monsters who could advance to the 12th round must have a huge amount of immortal stones. Presumably, he also had a huge amount of celestial stones on him. If he was killed, he might also drop a terrifying amount of celestial stones. With such a large number of immortal stones, it was not a problem to exchange for immortal pills, immortal Qi, immortal technique manuals, divine beast eggs and special Dharma treasures. When I first entered this huge hall, I saw a dazzling array of treasures, but all of them were so expensive that it made my hair stand on end. It made me feel like I was out of my reach, like I couldn't possess them. But now that the immortal stone competition has progressed to this point, the competition has reached a fever pitch. The prize for each competition is tens of millions of immortal stones, and it's impossible for me to possess them. The reward of the immortal stones is too ridiculous. It's like compounding interest. The first round was 20,000 immortal stones, and the second round was 40,000 immortal stones. This was not a big deal, but the rewards were accumulating like a snowball. Now, in the 12th round, the reward has skyrocketed to more than 40 million immortal stones. Tomorrow in the 13th round, the reward is even more shocking. It will double to more than 80 million immortal stones. In the 14th round, the reward is more than 100 million immortal stones. Plus the immortal stones of the losers. TSK. Even Xiaohan was scared stiff. In the 12th round of the Immortal Stone competition, there were only about 200,000 chivalrous heroes left. There were more than 40 million chivalrous heroes who entered the giant hall, and now, there were only 200,000 left. That was crazy. That was right. Every round of the competition meant that exactly half of the chivalrous heroes who participated in the competition would die in the arena. After a few more rounds, the number of chivalrous heroes left would decrease rapidly. Of course, it did not mean that more than 39 million chivalrous heroes had been eliminated and died in the arena with only 200,000 left. There must have been a considerable number of chivalrous heroes who chose to quit in this intense, cruel and bloody Immortal Stone competition. There were also some chivalrous heroes who had earned enough Immortal Stones and exchanged them for treasures that they wanted. Then they quit while they were ahead and left. Moreover, not all of the remaining 200,000 chivalrous heroes wanted to participate in the competition. Some of them might have stayed to watch the fun. However, one thing was certain. These 200,000 chivalrous heroes were all supreme experts. The weaker chivalrous heroes who wanted to take advantage of the situation were either killed or teleported out of fear. There was no weakling among those who could survive until now. Tomorrow, half of the 200,000 chivalrous heroes will probably die. The battles every day after that will be a battle between the strong. Xiaohan knew what was going on. At this moment, Xiaohan was shocked. Oh no. Eldest senior brother? There are still 200,000 chivalrous heroes left. I wonder if eldest senior brother, is he still alive? Xiaohan's scalp went numb. He quickly took out the chivalrous hero token and anxiously sent a message to Xiao Mingqiu. Eldest senior brother, I'm out of seclusion. Eldest senior brother, please reply immediately when you see my message. Chapter 480. Xiaohan went into seclusion to refine the 40 Thunder God body tempering pills. 4 days had passed unknowingly, and the Immortal Stone competition had reached an extremely cruel and tragic stage. The 12th round of the competition had ended. Out of the 40 million heroes, only about 200,000 were left. Not even 1 out of 100 were left. At this moment, Xiaohan suddenly thought of his big senior brother, Xiao Mingqiu. Oh no. In our plane, eldest senior brother is definitely outstanding among his peers, a top-notch existence. However, in the vast universe, in the infinite planes, he is too ordinary. In fact, among the heroes of the same age in the universe, big senior brother Xiao Mingqiu is considered weak. At this point in the competition, most of the remaining evil heroes are freakishly abnormal guys. If eldest senior brother were to fight against them, he would have no chance of winning. Concern leads to confusion. Now Xiaohan was so nervous that he almost suffocated. He quickly sent a message to Xiao Mingqiu. After waiting for more than 10 breaths, the wooden house suddenly became extremely quiet, and Xiaohan could clearly hear his own heartbeat. Xiaohan's heart felt as if it was being gripped by an invisible hand. Did big senior brother meet with an accident? Xiaohan was shocked. However, finally, junior brother Xiaohan, you're out of seclusion? I just came out of seclusion today. Junior brother Xiaohan, come out and have a chat. Xiao Mingqiu finally replied to Xiaohan, reporting that he was safe. Thank God. Xiaohan exclaimed in his heart. The full moon shone brightly. The night sky was like a mysterious gem, so beautiful that it made people sigh. Xiaohan and Xiao Mingqiu. They stood in the garden. The fragrance of all kinds of flowers from the immortal world assaulted their noses. Congratulations, big senior brother. Congratulations, big senior brother. Xiaohan's face was full of joy as he said to Xiao Mingqiu. After a few days of seclusion, big senior brother has finally broken through the barrier. He broke through the 81st acupoint and reached the 9th stage of true qi, the true treasure realm. This is really a great thing. Thank you, junior brother Xiaohan. At this moment, Xiao Mingqiu's body was full of true qi, and his whole body was like a beautiful pearl. It exuded a flawless luster, and its aura was smooth and pure. The cells in its body emitted a sandalwood fragrance that made people feel like they were bathing in the spring breeze. His temperament had also become like that of a celestial being. Level 9 True Qi. This competition for immortal stones is indeed like a fishbone stuck in my throat, and I won't be happy until I get it out. If I had stayed in this plane and didn't come out to explore the world, I'm afraid I would have been stuck at the 8th stage of True Qi for the rest of my life. It's hard to improve. Xiao Mingqiu sighed repeatedly. Junior brother Xiaohan, after you went into closed-door cultivation, I thought about it and decided to participate in the 9th round of the Celestial Stone competition. It's a gamble. That battle was too tragic. Xiao Mingchu's eyes were filled with lingering fear, as if he was recalling the danger of that battle. That battle was the closest I've ever been to death in my entire life. I felt as if the Grim Reaper was descending. Fortunately, my opponent was too careless. At the crucial moment, a loophole appeared and I was able to seize it. It was also that battle that allowed my accumulation to reach the peak, and my life force to reach the most intense and exciting moment. It was also that battle that allowed my accumulation to reach the true treasure realm. Moreover, Xiao Mingchu paused for a moment and suddenly smiled. I've also obtained millions of immortal stones as a reward. Ah! Millions of immortal stones. In addition to the 2 million immortal stones that I've plundered from my opponent's silk pouch, I now have nearly 8 million immortal stones. Ah! Hehe, Xiao Han was also happy for Xiao Mingchu. Eldest senior brother, this way you'll be able to exchange for the key to enter the 2nd floor of Immortal Emperor Ju Dao's treasure trove. You'll also be able to exchange for a lot of immortal pills, immortal qi and even immortal equipment. Ha ha ha. Xiao Mingchu laughed heartily. Junior brother Xiao Han, I know my own strength. The 2nd floor of Immortal Emperor Ju Dao's treasure trove is definitely more dangerous than this genius zone. It's not that I'm belittling myself, but with my strength, being able to escape from this genius zone unscathed is already a sign that my luck has reached its peak. Since I'm still able to extricate myself now, I won't linger any longer. It's better to quit while I'm ahead. I won't covet the immortal key to the 2nd floor of Immortal Emperor Ju Dao's treasure trove. But it's true that I can exchange for a lot of treasures with millions of immortal stones. I never thought that this adventure would not only allow me to break through to the 9th level of true qi, but also obtain an immortal treasure. Xiao Mingchu revealed an expression of disbelief. Xiao Mingchu paused for a moment and said fervently, Junior brother Xiao Han, if you need anything, you can use the immortal stones in my hands. Hang, eldest senior brother, I won't take your immortal stones. I'll earn enough immortal stones myself. Xiao Han nodded with certainty. Xiao Mingchu suddenly looked at Xiao Han. Junior brother Xiao Han, you've also been in seclusion for a few days. However, I can see that your true qi realm and your aura haven't undergone any obvious changes. However, your temperament has a subtle feeling compared to a few days ago. Junior brother Xiao Han, you should have made some progress in these few days of seclusion, right? Xiao Han used the spirit turtle true qi to perfectly conceal the aura of the thunder god tyrant body, making it impossible for Xiao Mingchu to see through it. It's nothing much. I just gained a few kilograms of strength, Xiao Han said casually. Xiao Mingchu didn't ask any further and immediately changed the topic. Junior brother Xiao Han, tomorrow is the 13th round of the Immortal Stones competition. The prize is more than 80 million immortal stones. In addition to the immortal stones from the loser's brocade pouch. It's definitely more than 100 million immortal stones. What can't be exchanged for 100 million immortal stones? Junior brother Xiao Han, according to your temperament, you should be competing for the 13th round of the competition this time, right? Yes, eldest senior brother. I'm eager to fight and plunder the immortal stones. Xiao Han nodded heavily. Junior brother Xiao Han, your battle intent is unparalleled. I believe your achievements after this seclusion will far surpass mine. However, junior brother Xiao Han, according to my observation, the demons who have the courage to participate in tomorrow's competition are all monstrous. They are unimaginably monstrous. Junior brother Xiao Han, you can go back to the wooden house and use your spiritual force to watch the battles of those supreme demons. It's too exciting and too profound. There are some images left on the light screen that haven't dissipated yet. It's a classic that will last forever. You can take a look at their fighting style first. All in all, junior brother Xiao Han, the battles from now on are getting scarier and scarier. I've never imagined that there would be so many monstrous demons in the same mundane plane. It's really infuriating to compare oneself with others. Thank you for your reminder, eldest senior brother. I'll carefully study the battle images of those monstrous demons later. By the way, eldest senior brother, what about the other demons in our plane? 12 people have died in our plane. The other 6 were extremely lucky and encountered extremely weak opponents. They won the battles and obtained some immortal stones. After exchanging for immortal pills and immortal qi, they were teleported away. There was still a small group of them who stayed in this area. However, they were not prepared to fight. They were just here to watch the show. They also wanted to see the performance of the #1 genius of our plane, junior brother Xiaohan. Everyone hoped that junior brother Xiaohan would be able to suppress all the heroes and show off his might. Luo Tianyu and brother Luo's battle results are similar to mine and they already have millions of immortal stones. However, brother Luo lost his left arm and right leg in the bitter battle. It's very tragic. The ancient giant of our plane, Yanqi, has accumulated 10 million immortal stones and he's also hanging a sign that he doesn't need to fight. He's preparing to exchange for some treasures and return with a full load. Junior brother Xiaohan, your 5 slaves have the same battle results as Yanqi. After listening to Xiao Mingchu's narration, Xiaohan nodded repeatedly. It seems that the overall battle results of our plane are not bad. The two of them chatted for a long time before returning to their respective wooden houses. In Xiaohan's wooden house, Xiaohan stood in front of the light screen and used his mind to scan the battle situation of the Immortal Stone competition. Indeed, as Xiao Mingchu had said, some of the classic battles of the strongest heroes seemed to have been imprinted on the screen. It was rolling and playing, causing people to gasp in amazement. Xiaohan was also speechless as he watched. Roar! Brat die. A giant one-eyed man who was about 4 meters tall and had an aura as deep as the sea, causing people's hearts to palpitate. He was at the 9th level of True Qi. He directly took out his True Qi treasure that was condensed from all of his True Qi. It was a black iron bell. It was brightly colored and was surrounded by formations and talismans. It emitted an ancient aura of divine punishment and directly enveloped his opponent. As for his opponent, it was a skinny young man with maroon hair and hemp clothes. He carried a long sword on his back and had a very elegant temperament. It was Naga. Get lost, Naga curled his lips in disdain. His figure moved slightly and countless blood-colored sword qi, like a tide, covered his opponent's true treasure and body. Poo 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 poo, the densely packed sword qi flashed like meteors. In the next moment, the black iron bell and the one-eyed man were completely cut into nothingness. Not even a bit of residue was left. Too weak. Why do I always meet such weak existences? Naga shook his head in despair and sighed. Ha 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 ha. A giant man covered in black scale armor, his aura was like that of an ancient god that split the heavens and earth apart. On the stage he unscrupulously laughed wildly. Die, die, die. His opponent was a lone crane-like monster dressed in white. He was at the 9th level of True Qi and held a golden spear in his hand. The spear's shadow flew and the densely packed attack was like a flying meteor. With an unstoppable momentum, it bombarded the body of the black-scaled giant. Po, 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 po. The black-scaled giant's body exploded. The scales were blown into pieces and a mushroom cloud exploded from his body. However, this level of attack, are you trying to tickle me? In the midst of the smoke, the black-scaled giant's body suddenly trembled. Then, his muscles, meridians and bones all let out the sound of steel roaring. His body began to expand. Grow bigger. 5 meters. 10 meters. 15 meters. Constantly growing bigger. This is... The monster holding the golden spear had a look of horror in his eyes. I don't practice any special True Qi cultivation method. However, I am talented, My body can expand and become bigger as I wish. The black-scaled giant's body had already reached 30 meters, and he looked like a fiendish, ancient giant god. Every muscle of his was like an evil dragon. Die. The black-scaled giant slapped down, directly smashing his opponent into a meat patty. A red-clothed youngster wielded a devilish battle blade. With a slash of his blade, countless savage beasts were born from the light of the blade. Then they drowned an opponent who was at the 9th stage of True Qi stage. After a few breaths, the herd of beasts disappeared, leaving behind a pile of bloody bones. Boring. The red-clothed young man sheathed his saber and sneered. Xiaohan had watched dozens of matches. The winners of these dozens of matches were unbelievably strong. Among these winners, some had tyrannical True Qi and divine arts, some took out their true treasures and directly suppressed their opponents, and some had special fighting methods. There were too many experts. These powerhouses were on a completely different level from the demons of the same age in Xiaohan's dimension. Xiaohan withdrew his mental power and stopped looking at these heart-palpitating battle scenes. He then walked to the window and looked at the beautiful night sky outside. There are too many experts. To be fair and objective, there is a small group of them who are so strong that they can't be evaluated. They are simply unfathomable. Even if I exhausted the origin saber chi in my sea of consciousness, I might not be able to defeat this small group of elites. Xiao Han muttered to himself. Immediately, the battle intent in his eyes surged. No matter what, I must fight. I must obtain immortal stones and buy a large number of Thunder God's body-tempering pills. My path of cultivation is already clear. First, I must raise my physical body strength to the limit and use the Thunder God's body-tempering pill to create an immortal body. One Thunder God's body-tempering pill is 100,000 immortal stones. As long as I win tomorrow's competition, I can at least get over 1,000 Thunder God's body-tempering pills. Forget it, in tomorrow's battle, if my luck is bad and I can't avoid encountering that small group of elites, I'll fight to the death. The next morning, Xiao Han stood in front of the light screen, and his mental power shot into the light screen. Request to participate in the Immortal Stone competition. Ripples appeared on the light screen and a passionate voice could be heard. Junior, this emperor admires your courage very much. Welcome to the 13th day, the 13th round of the Celestial Stone competition. Your opponent will be randomly selected. At this stage of the competition, almost all the weaklings have been eliminated. The remaining ones are the mortals below the age of 10,000 in this universe, the ones with the best combat strength. Only those who have the ability to participate in the next round can be called geniuses in the true sense of the word. They all have the potential to become immortals. This emperor doesn't need to say more about the prize of the 13th round of the Celestial Stone competition. I believe you, Junior, already know. Now put your immortal stones into the brocade pouch. The immortal stones in Xiao Han's hand were almost used up. He put the few immortal stones he had into the brocade pouch. Begin to choose your opponent. The almost fanatical voice sounded from the light screen again. Then, whoosh, 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 a strange light burst out from the light screen and a vortex appeared. The next moment, Junior, your opponent has been randomly selected. I wish you good luck. The 13th day of the Celestial Stone competition, the 13th round of the Celestial Stone competition, begin. Boom. The vortex in the light screen suddenly exploded with a powerful suction force, and Xiao Han's entire body was directly pulled into the light screen. Chapter 481. Xiao Han had finally entered the 13th round of the Immortal Stones competition. The reward was 92 million immortal stones. Buzz, 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 a strange light flashed and a whirlpool appeared. Soon Xiao Han was sucked into the light screen. A space crevice. On a square arena surrounded by misty primordial chaos. Xiao Han stood there quietly like a sword. The violent aura of the mighty body of the Thunder God was perfectly concealed by the true chi of the Spirit Turtle. Xiao Han's body was like an abyss, completely unfathomable. At first glance he looked like an extremely weak existence, and the person standing in front of Xiao Han was his opponent for the 13th round of the Immortal Stones competition. Between the two of them, the winner would obtain a huge amount of immortal stones. The loser would be turned into ashes and would no longer exist in this world. It was a young man wearing a red robe. He had a pointy face, evil eyebrows, thin lips and facial features. He looked extremely demonic. This young man was empty-handed. His face was evil and indifferent. There was a kind of arrogance and loneliness in his eye sockets. Occasionally the corner of his mouth would curl up. It was a lawless arrogance that disregarded everything and rules. Judging from his life force, he was no more than 500 years old at most. However, judging from the fluctuation of his jinchi, with just a slight breath, there would be countless formations floating around him. Furthermore, the quality of his jinchi was extremely high. With just a slight estimation, Xiao Han could tell that this red-robed young man was a level 9 jinchi cultivator, a true treasure realm expert. Impressive. The aura of this young man in red robe gives off an extremely dangerous feeling. Xiao Han was secretly on guard. His eyes were fixed on his opponent without blinking. Moreover, Xiao Han scanned the area with his spirit force. He saw that there was a light yellow pouch floating above the head of the young man in red robe. There were 7 million immortal stones inside. This guy actually has a high net worth. 7 million immortal stones. Together with the reward of 8,192 immortal stones. Xiao Han's heart was trembling. It's over 100 million. The value of this battle was over 100 million immortal stones. Damn it. *CK. Xiao Han couldn't help but lick his dry lips. Even though his opponent was one of the most powerful experts he had ever met in his life, the benefits of defeating him were simply too great, causing Xiao Han to feel restless. A feeling of being blinded by greed appeared in his heart. Xiao Han quickly activated his saber intent and managed to get rid of this rash mentality. He calmed down and withdrew his battle intent. He stared at the red-clothed youth with a clear gaze. As long as I defeat him, I can exchange a large amount of lightning god body tempering pills. Once I defeat him, I will be able to improve my body to an immortal body. Oh? Suddenly the young man in red robes said. There are only tens of thousands of immortal stones in the pouch. Trash. This is too trash. An expression of extreme disdain and contempt appeared on the face of the red-clothed youngster. There was also a deep sense of mockery in his voice. Acupoint Expansion Realm. I really can't imagine that a mere Acupoint Expansion Realm ant would be able to survive in this massive hall until now. Furthermore, he even dares to participate in the 13th round of the Immortal Stone Contest. This. Also, there are only a few immortal stones in the pouch. I can't believe there are only a few immortal stones in the pouch. Otherwise, it's impossible for the pouch to have so few immortal stones. Pitiful worm. Are you trying your luck in the 13th round of the Immortal Stones competition? Are you trying to see if you can meet a weakling? Ah. The young man in red robe burst into laughter as if he had just seen the funniest joke in the world. Childish. Ah. This is too boring. This pitiful worm is a weirdo. He's just courting death. Whether or not I'm courting death, we'll talk about it after we fight. Xiao Han's state of mind was completely calm, neither arrogant nor rash, as calm as still water. One finger. The young man in red robes stared at Xiao Han with a cold smile. One finger? What do you mean? Xiao Han was startled. Just one move. I'll crush you with one finger. The young man in red robe said sternly. As he spoke, many strange scenes appeared above the red-clothed youth's head, rolling back and forth. Sometimes, cities appeared, streets that were as wide as plains, with many neatly built tall buildings, men and women of the mortal world, peddlers and servants, and people coming and going. Sometimes, a vast starry sky appeared, a grand universe, with planets moving about, flowing with brilliant lights and vibrant colors. Sometimes, some extremely large planets appeared, with vast territories, various demon race continents, human race planets, all of them vividly in front of his eyes. Of course, everything that appeared above the young man in red robe was an illusion, a mirage. However, it felt extremely real. Powerful mental energy rippled in the air. All of this showed that the illusions above the young man in red robe were constructed from his mental energy. It was as if the fake was real. This fellow's mental energy is extremely strong. Xiao Han also noticed it. Currently, Xiao Han's greatest reliance was also his mental energy. His extinguishing heaven and earth mental energy art had reached level 19, and the liquid mental energy planet in his sea of consciousness was on the verge of solidifying. Thus, Xiao Han was able to accurately judge the strength of other living beings' mental energy. This fellow's mental energy is roughly equivalent to the extinguishing heaven and earth mental energy art. His mental energy is at the peak of the 10th set of mental energy finger technique. Although it's far from mine, it's still not bad. With a cultivation of 9th level true chi and a strong mental energy, this young man in red robe was indeed a supreme expert. Forget it. There's no point in talking anymore. For an insignificant ant like you, a single sentence from me is already a gift to you. I'll directly blast you into pieces and obtain a huge amount of immortal stones as a reward. Pacify the world, heaven and earth finger. The young man in red robe finally made his move against Xiao Han. He pointed his finger forward. At the same time, the figure of the young man in red robe suddenly became blurry and distorted, almost disappearing. In the entire world, there seemed to be only his finger left. Boom! This finger in Xiao Han's eyes constantly enlarged. It burst forth with a power that could destroy everything and sweep the heavens and earth. This finger, with the fingertip as the center, caused the space to shatter. A terrifying cyclone was formed, and an ocean storm suddenly erupted. This finger flickered with changes, like a sea-stabilizing divine needle, stabbing toward Xiao Han. Poo, 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 poo. The space around Xiao Han's body shattered like glass. A monster at 9th level true chi. This was a killing blow executed by driving all the true chi in his body. This young man in red robe did not place Xiao Han in his eyes at all. He claimed that he would use a finger to crush Xiao Han to death. However, when he really made his move, he used his full strength, showing no mercy at all. He was decisive in killing, not giving Xiaohan any chance to escape. His ruthlessness was on full display. "Ha! You are just an expanded acupoint realm ant. I will crush you into nothingness with a single finger," the young man in red robe said arrogantly. Like a will-o'-the-wisp, his voice was filled with absolute confidence. Indeed, a casual strike from this young man in red robe could already be considered as an ordinary expanded acupoint realm expert. Even a pinnacle 8th level true chi talisman formation realm expert would be crushed in an instant. One must know that when he was expanding his acupoints back then, even though his foundation wasn't very solid. However, the number of times he expanded his acupoints had accumulated to 200 times. The offensive power of his pure true chi was 12 million ding. When he was at talisman formation realm, he cleansed the true talisman 10 times and raised the quality of his true chi. The offensive power of his pure true chi had also reached a terrifying 4 billion ding. When he was at talisman formation realm, the formation created by the true talisman raised the offensive power of his pure true chi by another 20 times, reaching an offensive power of 80 billion ding. Finally, when he entered true treasure realm, the offensive power of his pure true chi had increased by 2 times. Without using any true chi cultivation technique, his offensive power of pure true chi had reached 160 billion ding. This offensive power was absolutely terrifying. For example, in Xiaohan's realm, there was an ancient powerhouse who was ranked near the top. He was also a level 9 true chi stage true treasure Shangguan Wudi. However, when he took out the true chi treasure, the yin-yang mirror, that was transformed from his true chi, it only had a maximum attack power of 20 billion cauldrons. In the demon hero world of Xiaohan's dimension, this kind of offensive power was already considered shocking. However, if it was used in front of this young man in red robe, it would be a complete joke. If he didn't use any true chi cultivation technique, without using any magical treasures, this young man could easily kill an ancient powerhouse like Shangguan Wudi with a single finger. There was no doubt about it. Right now the young man in red robe was pointing at Xiaohan. Just by using a trace of his true chi cultivation technique, his offensive power had already reached 200 billion ding. This finger was enough to shatter a planet. It could shatter the tectonic plates of a continent. Too strong. His true chi attack is too strong. It's even more terrifying than the elders of our dimension. He can even fight against the Tower Master of our dimension. These are the superheroes from the alternate dimensions. Their methods are indeed extraordinary, completely beyond my imagination. I, Xiaohan, have finally exchanged blows with an expert of this level. TSK, previously, when the strength of my flesh shell increased to 6 billion cauldrons, I thought that even if I didn't use my natal saber chi, this strength would be enough to compete with the many monsters from the alternate dimensions who are participating in the Celestial Stone competition. However, I never expected that most of the peerless geniuses would have a strength of several hundred billion cauldrons with just a casual strike. This is simply too heaven-defying. Xiaohan finally knew how powerful he was. After thinking for a while, Xiaohan made a bold decision. I'll temporarily keep my natal saber chi and mental strength as my trump card. I'll try my Thunder God Tyrant body. Xiaohan also knew that from this moment on, the opponents he would encounter in every round would be extremely abnormal. Moreover, his battle would also be detected by other powerful demon heroes through the light screen with their psychic waves. This kind of competition was similar to the competition system. It was progressive and determined by life and death. If he revealed all his trump cards in advance, it would be unwise. For example, if Xiaohan used his natal saber chi and was known by the other powerful demon heroes, they would pay more attention to Xiaohan. Once they encountered Xiaohan in the next round, they would know that they knew their enemy and it would be disadvantageous to Xiaohan. Roar! In the nick of time, Xiaohan released the shield of the spirit turtle true chi and the violent strength of his physical body surged out at once. Every pore on his body emitted the divine light of thunder. Xiaohan's body and limbs were completely stretched out. His aura soared to the sky. Above the arena, streaks of lightning appeared out of nowhere. These streaks of lightning were as thick as buckets and were entwined with many formations. The talismans and the power of the lightning gradually formed a funnel-shaped vortex. The wind and clouds changed color and a song of praise from the immortal world could be heard from within. With Xiaohan as the center, it was faintly discernible. The ring was surrounded by electric sparks, causing the red-robed youth to feel his body go numb, as if he had been electrocuted. What kind of physical body is this? In the next moment, the red-robed young man burst out with a question. His tone was filled with obvious surprise, but he quickly calmed down. He sneered continuously. So he's been hiding his strength. He's actually a physique cultivator. Moreover, his physique is very special. It seems that he has an extremely strong lightning attribute. However, the strength of his physical body is less than 10 billion ding. It's rare for someone to condense 10 billion ding of physical body strength, but it's still too weak. Moreover, everyone knows that in the path of cultivation, true qi is the king while the physical body is the auxiliary. Only those who cultivate true qi can become immortals. No matter how strong your physical body is, can it be stronger than true qi? Poof! Suddenly the red-robed young man's finger directly poked Xiao Han. Boom! A violent mushroom cloud rose from Xiao Han's body and soared into the sky. A series of explosions. Xiao Han's entire body was wrapped up in a raging vortex of true qi that was like a violent storm. Under the strangling of the true qi whirlpool, the air and space on the arena were completely destroyed, evaporated, and shattered. The attack power of this finger is definitely more than 200 billion ding. Do you think your physical body with less than 10 billion ding can withstand it? I'll poke it into nothingness. The red-robed young man's figure finally stopped flickering and became solid on the arena. At this moment, he had his hands behind his back and his face was filled with pride. How boring. Poking a tiny ant to death. Boring. However, the red-robed young man roared in a stern voice at the next moment. I've won. I've obtained 92 million immortal stones as a reward. With these rewards I'll have more than 100 million immortal stones. I can exchange them for any magical treasure I want. However, a brilliant golden ray of light burst out from the true qi whirlpool, accompanied by the whistling of thunder and lightning. Amidst the smoke, one could see Xiao Han slowly walking out of the true energy vortex, which was like a disaster. At this moment, Xiao Han's entire body was covered in blood. His entire body was in a mess, and his steps were slow and unsteady, like an old man with one foot in the grave. However, he was not dead. He did not explode from the poke. What? He's not dead? What's going on? The red-robed young man's eyes widened as if he had seen a ghost. That finger just now had an attack power of more than 200 billion ding, and it landed on his body. Furthermore, he did not activate any defensive magical treasure. I've poked him with that finger. His physical defense is less than 10 billion ding. How could he not die? What kind of physique does he have? That's right, Xiao Han was not dead. The 44 Thunder God's body tempering pills had increased the strength of Xiao Han's physical body to 6 billion ding. However, that was not the most important thing. The miraculous effect of the Thunder God's body tempering pills was to evolve Xiao Han's body, causing Xiao Han's life level to undergo a transformation. If a mortal could enjoy an immortal pill, the benefits they would receive would be indescribable. It could be said that Xiao Han's current body already possessed the embryonic form of an immortal body. There was a world of difference between an immortal body and a mortal body. Therefore, Xiao Han did not shatter after taking the attack from the red-robed young man head-on. Although his entire body was riddled with wounds and looked extremely miserable, an immortal body was still an immortal body, so Xiao Han did not die. Moreover, after taking the attack head-on, the medicinal power of the Thunder God's body tempering pills that had accumulated in Xiao Han's pores, cells, blood, tendons, and bones, and had yet to be fully refined to its fullest, melted once again and refined his body. The strength of Xiao Han's physical body had actually increased. Moreover, his immortal body was even more condensed and compact. Chapter 482. Xiao Han used the strength of 6 billion cauldrons of flesh shell to forcefully withstand the killing blow of a powerful enemy, the red-clothed youth. The red-robed youth's attack had reached 200 billion cauldrons. It shook the heavens and earth, and it could even destroy a planet. However, it didn't kill Xiao Han in a single blow. Thunder God Tyrant Body? Immortal Physique. Now Xiao Han truly understood the wonders and greatness of an immortal physique. In a situation where there was a huge disparity in strength between the two sides, the immortal body would not be destroyed by the opponent. If he was immortal, even if Xiao Han had 100 billion cauldrons of strength, he would still have been stabbed to death. There was no suspense. Great. Immortal Physique. This is the immortal physique. Moreover, to completely create the Thunder God Tyrant Body physique, I will definitely need 10,000 Thunder God Body tempering pills to be able to succeed. Right now, I have only consumed 44 Thunder God Body tempering pills. There is still a long way to go before I can truly condense the immortal physique. However, even so, I was still able to withstand more than 200 billion cauldrons of attacks. My immortal body is truly immortal and indestructible. Furthermore, after enduring this violent attack, the medicinal power of the lightning god's body-tempering pill that had settled in Xiaohan's body was even more abundant and perfectly dispersed. As a result, the strength of Xiaohan's flesh shell rose to 7 billion cauldrons. In the midst of the smoke, Xiaohan limped towards the red-robed youth. There was an exceptionally strange smile on his face. This caused the red-clothed youth's scalp to involuntarily go numb, and an ominous premonition arose in his heart. Moreover, he even had the misconception that the person he was facing was not a human. It was like a primordial beast. What's going on? The red-clothed youth's eyes twitched. It kept twitching and throbbing. The moment I hit him, I could already feel it. It was a solid hit on his body. He didn't use any defensive magical treasure at all. He actually didn't die. It must be a rare special constitution. At this moment, the red-robed youth. His eyes suddenly lit up, and an inexplicable look of pleasant surprise appeared in the depths of his eye sockets, as if he had obtained some unexpected joy. Ah, good physique. Such a good constitution is as rare as phoenix feathers and Qilin horns. Good. I'm going to kill you, but I'll leave your corpse intact. Your corpse is in my pocket. I know a special technique for refining corpses. Although your cultivation base is low, your constitution is very strong, and your genes are perfect. After I kill you, I'll use a secret technique to refine your corpse. Refine it into my corpse slave and become a great help to me. Ah. As soon as he finished speaking, a look of incomparable pride appeared in the eyes of the red-clothed youth. In the next moment, boom. Inside the red-clothed youth's body, resplendent holy light shot out in all directions. Light filled the sky, beautiful beyond compare. A total of 88 star-shaped lights burst out from the red-clothed youth's body. Every 5-pointed star seemed to be able to contain the 4 seas and the vastness of it all. Each 5-pointed star. It was like a bottomless abyss. It was a true acupoint. 88 true acupoints. This red-robed young man had opened 88 acupoints in his body. He was only 3 acupoints away from reaching level 10 true chi, the celestial eye realm. The next moment, boom, boom, boom. From the red-clothed youth's body, from each of his true acupoints, billions of true chi runes rushed out. In an instant, a hurricane filled the sky. Countless true chi runes surged in the air and combined, forming thousands of formations in an instant. Then, magical treasure. Beast King's soul-severing saber. The red-robed youth waved his right hand, and countless true energy talismans, billions upon billions of spell formations, all gathered together to form a demonic war saber. The red-robed youth gripped it tightly in his hand, and a powerful aura began to spread out. The aura of a true expert circulated around his body. Magical treasure? Level 9 True Chi True Treasure Realm. All the true chi in the body condenses into a magical treasure, and the attack power increases dramatically. Xiaohan's heart instantly tightened. Since I am going to refine you into my corpse demon and use you as I please, then this body of yours must not be damaged. Your body is very perfect. If your body is damaged even the slightest bit, it would be a waste. The red-clothed young man looked at Xiaohan with a cold gaze. The demonic saber in his hand shone with an eerie luster, as if it was the light of hell, illuminating the blade. There were many natural patterns, formations, mysterious runes, and many bloodstains on it. There were even vengeful spirits entwined around it. It was just a saber, but inside the saber, one could feel that there were countless ferocious embryos wriggling. It was as if there were countless ferocious creatures coming back to life, trying to break free, trying to kill, and trying to devour people. What was even more terrifying was that inside the saber, one could vaguely hear the roars of tens of thousands of beasts. In a trance, it gave one the illusion that they were in ancient times. You will die under my magical treasure, the Beast King's soul-severing saber. You will die a worthy death. The red-clothed youth looked at Xiaohan with an extremely charitable gaze. In my realm, this slash is enough to kill many people at the 9th stage of True Chi who are at the same stage as me. Moreover, if you die under the Beast King's soul-slashing saber, not only will your corpse not suffer any damage, you won't even feel pain. You should feel honored. The red-clothed youth slowly raised the saber and pointed it at Xiaohan. Xiaohan's mind moved slightly. He looked at the Beast King's soul-severing saber, and a strange expression appeared at the corner of Xiaohan's mouth. in the resting area of many evil heroes inside a wooden house. The sack-clothed, chestnut-haired peerless genius, Naga, happened to be watching the battle between Xiao Han and the red-clothed youth. This move again. The corner of Naga's mouth twitched slightly, and a serious expression appeared in his eyes. This guy's magical treasure is strange, he thought. It's an unconventional attack and it's difficult to defend against it. With this Dharma treasure battle saber, he won consecutive battles and obtained quite a number of immortal stones as a reward. This time his luck is heaven-defying. Chapter 518518 Chapter 518 on the red-clothed youth's body. After the red-clothed youth easily defeated Xiao Han, it was entirely possible that he would become their mortal enemy in the upcoming competition. All of the spectating evil heroes focused their attention on the demon-severing saber. All of them focused on the demon-severing saber in the red-clothed youth's hand. On the arena. There's something strange about this magical treasure, Xiao Han said, sensing that something was amiss. Die. Shockingly, ripples spread out from the blade of the demon-severing saber. In the next moment, an enormous primal chaos elder snake burrowed its way out of the saber. The snake had horns on its head. It exuded an aura that seemed capable of destroying heaven and earth. This was definitely a god-beast from ancient times, and it could devour all life in existence with a single sweep of its body. Next, a Pishio burrowed its way out of the saber, its body covered in beautiful golden scales. Then came a Qilin, a heavenly dragon, a horned dragon, and a flood Wm. Terrifying archaic divine beasts appeared one after another. These archaic divine beasts were peerless fiends of their generation. They shook fiercely, causing space to collapse. Primordial divine beasts emerged one after another, densely packed together from the red-clothed youth's blade. In a short period of time, this space was densely packed with hundreds of primordial divine beasts. The strength of each primordial divine beast was definitely comparable to a level 9 true Qi human. In other words, in the blink of an eye, the young man in red had summoned hundreds of primordial divine beasts from the demonic battle saber that were on par with a level 9 true Qi human. Hundreds of god beasts were so powerful that they could overwhelm anything in their path. Even a pagoda lord from the mortal plane would have to retreat, not daring to face them head-on. The beast tide erupted. Hundreds of primordial divine beasts charged toward Xiao Han. However, Xiao Han didn't move. Xiao Han's expression was calm and unruffled. I see. The red-clothed youth's magical weapon, the demon-severing saber, wasn't an explosion of true energy, but a mental attack. All the god beasts are formed from mental energy. That's right. I could tell from the start that the red-robed young man's mind power was extremely powerful. It turns out that his trump card is a mind power attack. It's really luck. If his magic treasure attacks mainly rely on true Qi and erupt with an attack power of hundreds of billions or trillions in one go, I'm afraid it won't be easy to resist even if I have an embryonic immortal body. But if his trump card is a psychic force attack, then, that's exactly what I want. In terms of mental energy, he's not even worthy of carrying my shoes. Roar, roar, roar. Soon hundreds of primordial divine beasts completely surrounded Xiao Han, tearing at him. Die. The red-clothed youth let out a satisfied laugh. This move of mine is a mental energy attack. All the god beasts are formed from my powerful mental energy and are specifically used to destroy the opponent's soul. When the mental energy storm transforms into the god beasts, even if the opponent's realm is higher than mine, their soul will be scattered. However, bang! All of a sudden, the hundreds of primordial divine beasts surrounding Xiao Han shattered like glass, exploding into pieces. They turned into light spots. This level of mental energy is too weak. Xiao Han smiled indifferently. The liquid star of mental energy in his sea of consciousness emitted a rumbling mental energy vortex. It completely swallowed the mental energy light spots created by the hundreds of giant beasts. My mental strength, my head, my sea of consciousness. In the next moment, the red-clothed bewitching youth let out a heart-wrenching, lung-splitting howl. The bewitching battle blade in his hand fell to the ground with a thump. He held his head with both hands and fell onto the stage. He kept rolling and he kept hitting his head against the stage. He let out the howl of a dying beast and blood kept spurting out. Mental energy backlash. Mental energy attacks were specifically used to attack the soul. It was impossible to guard against and simply ignored the physical defense. However, there were advantages and disadvantages. For example, if one faced an existence with a stronger mental energy than oneself, then rashly releasing one's own mental energy to attack would definitely cause one to suffer a backlash. One would suffer instead. Just now, Xiao Han had calmly swallowed the mental energy wave released by the red-clothed youth. This caused the red-clothed youth to instantly collapse. His sea of consciousness was scattered. In almost an instant he had become an idiot. Boom! Xiao Han's feet stomped on the ground. He directly leaped to the front of the red-clothed youth. His right leg swept out and with earth-shattering force, he kicked the red-clothed youth's head. Bang! In just a moment, the red-clothed youth's head exploded like a watermelon. It exploded and shattered. On the arena, an indifferent voice resounded. On the 13th day, the 13th round of the Immortal Stone competition has ended. The winner will receive 81.92 million Immortal Stones as a reward and will plunder 48.7 million Immortal Stones from the loser's brocade pouch. Haha, I'm rich. Xiao Han saw the densely packed Immortal Stones flying like locusts into the brocade pouch floating above his head. His face immediately lit up. He was so happy that he couldn't control himself. Thunder God's body tempering pill. Lots and lots of Thunder God's body tempering pills. Ah. Chapter 483. The 13th round of the Celestial Stone competition. Xiao Han had killed an extremely powerful genius hero, the red-clothed youth, with one strike. His head exploded with a kick. This allowed Xiao Han to obtain a total of 130.62 million celestial stones. He earned a lot in an instant. Moreover, Xiao Han killed his opponent with ease. Logically speaking, it would be difficult for Xiao Han to win against an expert of this level unless he used his great accomplishment Natal Saber Chi. He might even be defeated. Moreover, even if he used his great accomplishment Natal Saber Chi, he would need to use up all the Natal Saber Chi in his sea of consciousness and consume a huge amount of mental strength to kill his opponent. In this way Xiao Han would lose 8,000 of his own. He would need a lot of time to replenish the great accomplishment Natal Saber Chi in his sea of consciousness. He would miss the next round of the competition. However, Xiao Han's luck was really heaven-defying. His opponent's ultimate trump card was actually mental strength. He gave up the advantage of his true Chi realm and tried to use mental strength to kill Xiao Han. This was a complete attack with a weak point, and it happened to be the target of Xiao Han's spear. Xiao Han was ecstatic. He returned with a full load and directly disappeared from the arena. Dusk. Sunset. In the garden outside Xiao Han's accommodation area. Ha ha ha, junior brother Xiao Han, you are too fierce. Today when you defeated that red-clothed opponent, I happened to use my spirit wave to look at the entire process. Amazing junior brother Xiao Han. The opponent was so strong and was at the 9th stage of true Chi, but he still died in your hands. Furthermore, you exploded his skull with a single kick. Too brutal, really too brutal, Xiao Mingqiu said. Xiao Mingqiu's face was filled with ecstasy. He was practically glowing. Junior brother Xiao Han. This celestial stone competition has been going on for a long time. Every round of the competition is a real universal level genius. Our plane is extremely weak. Logically speaking, we are not qualified to win. However, junior brother Xiao Han, not only did you win, you won in such a clean and efficient manner. Truly heaven-defying. Truly heaven-defying. The future of our plane is completely entrusted to you, junior brother Xiao Han. At this moment, Xiao Mingqiu, Luo Tianyu, Xiao Han's 5 demon hero slaves, and Yan Qi and the other demon heroes. They surrounded Xiao Han like stars surrounding the moon. Unrestrained congratulations and praises. It was almost like worship. Little brother Xiao Han. I can only use the word, unfathomable, to describe you. Strong, ridiculously monstrous. And, you've been improving all along. Luo Tianyu exclaimed in admiration. Right now Luo Tianyu looked very miserable. He had lost his left arm and right leg. However, the true energy in his entire body became profound and brilliant. Strange light overflowed. He had also broken through. After Xiao Mingqiu broke through to level 9 True Qi realm, Luo Tianyu also broke through. In this way Xiao Han's world had 2 more demon heroes with level 9 True Qi. On the demon hero ranking, they had the ability to compete for the ranks of the ancient giants. Brother Luo, you've suffered. Xiao Han sighed with slight regret. Ah, it's nothing. Luo Tianyu didn't care about his injuries at all. Big brother Luo, you are quite open-minded. I admire your broad-mindedness. Xiao Han sighed. Luo Tianyu said with a straight face. Little brother Xiaohan, it's not that I'm being magnanimous. Strictly speaking, I've profited. I've profited greatly. Little brother Xiaohan, think about it. With my strength at level 8 true Qi, it's already a miracle that I was able to survive in this immortal stone competition. Moreover, I've broken through to level 9 true Qi. What's more? Haha, I've actually accumulated millions of immortal stones. I can exchange them for immortal pills, immortal Qi, immortal techniques, and rare books. Ah. Luo Tianyu was indeed satisfied. His face was glowing. He didn't feel remorseful for losing his limbs. That's true. With Big Brother Luo's cultivation, you can completely use your true Qi to replace your limbs. Xiaohan nodded. Ha ha ha. Everyone laughed together. The atmosphere was extremely harmonious. At this moment, Yin Qi also took a step forward. With a flattering smile on his face, he nodded slightly at Xiaohan and said, Little brother Xiaohan, I really have to congratulate you for defeating a strong opponent. The immortal stones you have now are 100 million, tens of millions. This is too rich. You're too rich. As he spoke, jealousy and burning greed could be seen from the depths of Yin Qi's eyes. Little brother Xiaohan, can you share a little bit of the immortal stones with me? At this moment, Yin Qi's entire body was flowing with rippling immortal Qi. It was as if there was an immortal weapon hidden in his body. Hearing Yin Qi shamelessly asking for immortal stones from him, Xiaohan was furious. However, he maintained his composure and said mockingly, Yin Qi, I heard that you've participated in a few rounds of the immortal stone competition. Your luck is pretty good and you've accumulated millions of immortal stones. What? You have enough immortal stones for yourself and now you want me to share some with you? Haha, aren't you being too greedy? This? No. It's not like that. Yin Qi hurriedly explained. Little brother Xiaohan, I've indeed obtained millions of immortal stones. However, I've exchanged for an immortal weapon armor and an offensive immortal weapon. Now, I don't have many immortal stones left. However, I still want to exchange for an immortal key to enter the second floor of Immortal Emperor Ju Dao's treasure trove. I'm still lacking a few million immortal stones. Little brother Xiaohan, you're very rich now. A single hair of yours is thicker than my waist. Just a few million immortal stones. To you, noisy. Suddenly, Xiaohan's eyes became extremely cold and stern as he said sternly, Get lost. You're just a two-faced villain. How dare you ask me for immortal stones? Get away from this young master. You want immortal stones? Sure. Go and participate in the competition yourself. Once you win each of the following competitions, you'll receive more than 100 million immortal stones directly. Xiaohan you. Yin Qi's face turned red from the scolding. However, he did not dare to say anything. Although he had exchanged for a defensive and offensive immortal weapon, his cultivation realm was too low. He could not unleash the power of the two immortal weapons at all. Therefore he did not dare to argue with Xiaohan. Xiaohan, it's a small world. Forget it. I'll teleport out now. You better not die in the next arena. Yin Qi's eyes flashed with a malicious look. A vicious look flashed across his face as he flung his sleeves and left resentfully. He naturally did not dare to participate in the immortal stone competition. After Yin Qi left. All right, junior brother Xiaohan. Don't bother with such a despicable person, Xiao Mingqiu said with a smile. Xiaohan said with a smile. I understand. Xiaohan paused for a moment before asking again. Eldest senior brother. You won't be participating in the next immortal stone competition, right? Yes. We're not strong enough. We won't go and die. Xiao Mingqiu smiled and said. However, we will all stay here and cheer for junior brother Xiaohan in battle. Ha ha ha. Little brother Xiaohan, you have enough immortal stones now. You can exchange them for any treasure you want. Luo Tianyu laughed. Xiaohan thought for a moment. Then he said decisively. Eldest senior brother, big brother Luo. Everyone, I'll return to the wooden hut and exchange for some items I want. After that, I'll continue my seclusion cultivation. I'm afraid I'll be in seclusion for a few days. I wonder if I'll be able to make it to the last round of the immortal stone competition. All right. Junior brother Xiaohan, go ahead. Xiao Mingqiu and the others nodded. Inside the wooden hut, Xiaohan stood in front of the light screen and scanned the room with his psychic energy. Xiaohan looked through the treasures stored in the hall. Oh? We don't have many defensive and offensive celestial treasures left. Special celestial treasures, sword immortal puppets, portable celestial residences, all of them have long been exchanged for. All kinds of immortal pills and immortal aura have also been exchanged for a lot. Xiao Han murmured to himself. The immortal stone competition has ended. There were a total of 13 rounds, and many of the fiendish heroes had enough immortal stones to exchange for treasures as much as they wanted. Now there aren't many treasures left in the huge hall, and many of the fiendish heroes have exchanged for a large portion of them. Xiao Han was very calm as he looked at the decreasing treasures in the hall. He was not impatient at all. These special immortal weapons, defensive immortal weapons and offensive immortal weapons are all made by immortals. And they're used by immortals. Mortals like us can barely use immortal weapons, but we can't unleash their full power. So, it's useless. Mortals like us can't use the treasures in the hall for now. Not only are we unable to use the immortal weapons, but ordinary mortals can't even use the immortal pills and immortal chi, right? Although I can refine the Thunder God body tempering pill, I might not be able to refine the other immortal pills and immortal chi. It doesn't matter. Even if all the treasures are exchanged, I don't care. Most importantly, don't let the Thunder God body tempering pill in the hall be exchanged. Xiao Han scanned the hall with his mental energy and stared at the Thunder God body tempering pill in the hall. Thunder God body tempering pill. Each pill is worth 100,000 immortal stones. 7,000, 10,000. The Thunder God body tempering pill in the hall is far from enough for me to exchange for. Xiao Han's spirit was lifted. In the next moment, 7,000 Thunder God body tempering pills are enough for me to exchange for a portion. Exchange in bulk. Suddenly Xiao Han inserted a huge number of immortal stones into the light screen. Buzz, 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 one after another, the Thunder God body tempering pills, which were mixed with the lightning of the celestial realm and strong medicinal aura, glittered with jewels and dense electric arcs, swam like dragons and snakes. They jumped out of the light screen and were caught by Xiao Han. I have 62 million immortal stones, enough to exchange for more than 1,000 Thunder God body tempering pills. More than 1,000. To what extent can it refine my body? Xiao Han had long wanted to obtain a large number of Thunder God body tempering pills to refine his immortal body. Moreover, the previous battle had allowed Xiao Han to experience the domineering and majestic immortal body. Now, it could be said that his long-cherished wish had been fulfilled. Half an hour later. 1,306. I've squandered all my wealth. 62 million immortal stones, I've exchanged for 1,306 immortal stones. To be continued. Chapter 484. In the wooden hut. Xiao Han sat cross-legged. 1,306 Thunder God body tempering pills floated around Xiao Han as if they had a mind of their own, constantly emitting celestial lightning. In the space around Xiao Han's body, thunder and lightning intertwined. In the blink of an eye, many phantoms appeared. In the space, only countless four-clawed golden dragons could be seen pulling the chariot. 999 virgin boys and 999 virgin girls could be seen playing the drums and playing the bells. The singing was like the sea, and the holy light was like the tide, covering the sky and covering the sky. The wind and clouds changed color, it was a grand spectacle. Xiao Han took a deep breath. His entire body was evaporated by the medicinal energy of the 1,306 Thunder God body tempering pills. He only felt refreshed and his entire body was comfortable. There was actually a feeling of enlightenment. What a strong medicinal effect. So good. I'm dying of happiness. Just being steamed by this medicinal aura makes me feel that every pore and cell is surging with joy. Good. Time to take the immortal pills. Refine them into my body. To further condense the immortal body. Xiao Han immediately entered the state of know one and know me. He reached out to take a Thunder God body tempering pill and put it in his mouth. Boom, the abundant medicinal effect of the immortal pill instantly spread out in Xiao Han's body. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Inside Xiao Han's body, rolling thunder sounded, shocking the heavens and the earth. At this moment, his entire aura seemed to penetrate heaven and earth, closely combining with the world of thunder in the celestial world. One is not enough. The next moment, Xiao Han grabbed several Thunder God body tempering pills with both hands and suddenly swallowed them. At the same time, Xiao Han's indestructible golden body. It was also activated to the limit. The boundless golden tide was activated. It rolled and rolled. As one immortal pill after another was consumed and refined, Xiaohan's body was getting closer and closer to a celestial body, and the pure power of his flesh was also rising. Xiaohan no longer cared about the next celestial stone competition. He devoted himself to refining the immortal pills and condensing the celestial body. One thing was for sure, once Xiaohan came out of seclusion he would definitely advance at a tremendous pace. He was no longer who he was before. Night. In a huge garden, there were a few extremely arrogant people, as if they were the most powerful heroes in the world. They gathered together and talked freely with each other. Among them was the Naga. Besides that, there was a huge man who was covered in black scale armor, and his aura was like that of an ancient god who had split the heavens and the earth apart. There was also a strange man with brown skin, a peerlessly powerful golden sword light flashing above his head, and an overwhelming aura. All three of them were extremely powerful. Today's competition. I don't know if you've checked. Naga smiled. I've seen them all. The black-scaled giant shrugged his shoulders. Some of the competitions are indeed extremely valuable. Among them, there were some ruthless people whose combat power was on par with ours. However, the majority of the matches are still very ordinary. It makes me feel very bored. There are some dark horses among them, right? The devilish man with reddish-brown skin smiled strangely. That fellow who is known for his tyrannical mental energy and has condensed all of his true energy into a magical treasure, the Beast King's soul-severing saber, struck out with his saber. Using 10,000 beasts to directly destroy the opponent's soul, it can be considered a powerful technique. Originally, I thought that fellow, as long as he did not meet us, he would be able to hold on for a few rounds. However, who would have thought that he would fail miserably in today's competition, and get his head smashed by a kick? However, the one who killed him was not a powerful existence but a rookie at the cave expansion realm. This can be considered as the biggest dark horse in today's competition. Yes. Naga nodded. I've paid special attention to this competition. It is indeed a little interesting. I've also studied this competition a little. The black-scaled giant man's eyes suddenly flashed with a greedy and evil expression. The fellow who killed the Beast King's soul-severing saber has a special physique. It is a special physique that is only born among the human race in the countless planes of the universe. Oh. Naga and the devilish man with reddish-brown skin turned their heads at the same time, looking at the black-scaled giant man. Yes, Li Xiaotian, you are also a freak, a rare person with a special physique. Regarding this point, you have the right to speak. The devilish man with reddish-brown skin nodded. The black-scaled Li Xiaotian coldly snorted, his expression becoming even more arrogant. That's right, I have a special physique. In my blood, there is the precious gene of the celestial meteor body, which allows me to automatically control my blood vessels, bones, and muscles. It allows me to explode with tyrannical defensive power, as well as physical combat power. In a breath's time, I can transform into an ancient giant, with a body that is tens of feet long. Yes. The fellow who killed the Beast King's soul-severing saber has a special physique of the lightning attribute. This point I will definitely not be wrong. Oh? Lightning attribute? The devilish man with reddish-brown skin frowned slightly. A special physique of the lightning attribute should be very powerful, right? Naga also had a curious look on his face. Li Xiaotian was very pleased with himself as he said slowly. Very powerful. Lightning is the most violent and unstable force in the world. Lightning represents divine punishment, and the wrath of heaven. Strictly speaking, the lightning attribute is even more powerful than my celestial meteor body. Moreover, it is almost impossible for a mortal to have a lightning attribute physique. The lightning attribute physique should be a type of celestial physique. Moreover, among the celestial physiques, it is one of the most powerful types. It can communicate with the heavenly realm's divine lightning, and no tribulation can harm it. So powerful? Naga could not help but sigh softly. That kid doesn't seem to be that great. The devilish man with reddish-brown skin was also slightly disdainful. Of course, I also admit that he is not completely useless. To be able to forcefully withstand the attack of the Beast King's soul-severing saber, with less than 10 billion cauldrons of physical strength. His physique is indeed domineering. However, he defeated the Beast King's soul-severing saber by luck. His mental strength is extremely strong, and the Beast King's soul-severing saber's magical treasure is also a mental attack, so it just happened to hit that fellow's strong point. After suffering a mental backlash, the Beast King's soul-severing saber was defeated. However, No matter how strong that guy's mental strength was, it wasn't strong enough to release his mental strength and turn it into a weapon to directly attack. In short, that guy was just sloppy and ordinary. To encounter any of the three of us, they were all instantly killed. There's no suspense. Ha ha ha. Yes, he is still extremely weak now. That's because his lightning-attributed constitution has yet to fully mature. Right now he is only a small sapling, extremely tender. However, his potential is extremely great. Suddenly Li Xiaotian roared. I want to fight with that kid. If I get my hands on his body. If I assimilate his genes, my body will become even more violent, and I'll advance by leaps and bounds. In fact, my genes will be even more powerful than before. There was a possibility of lightning element appearing. Both of you, please help me. If both of you are in the next competition, when you encounter that kid, please kill him and leave his corpse intact. After that, hand his corpse over to me, and I'll use sufficient immortal stones to exchange for it. Ha ha ha. The devilish reddish-skinned youth laughed non-committally. That depends on whether or not he has the guts to participate in the next immortal stone competition. Assimilate and refine his corpse? Very disgusting. Naga also shook his head and smiled indifferently. Inside Xiaohan's wooden house, the entire house was filled with the divine light of thunder and lightning. Xiaohan had been in seclusion for an unknown number of days. However, at this moment, as his body became stronger and his lightning attribute became more and more vigorous, the speed at which he consumed and refined the Thunder God's body-tempering pill also became faster and faster. At the beginning of his secluded cultivation, Xiaohan could only consume a few immortal pills in one go and needed to refine them for a while before continuing to consume them. But later on, Xiaohan could often grab and eat immortal pills by the handful, and his refining speed was extremely violent. Right now, there were only a few hundred Thunder God's body-tempering pills floating around Xiaohan's body. After an unknown period of time, there were only a dozen or so Thunder God's body-tempering pills floating around Xiaohan's body. Boom! Xiaohan grabbed all of the dozen or so immortal pills and stuffed them into his mouth. Gulp! He swallowed them all. Refine. The last dozen or so Thunder God's body-tempering pills, refine them all. Xiaohan's eyes flashed with lightning. His divine might was awe-inspiring. Boom! A huge bolt of lightning snaked out from above Xiaohan's head like a dragon, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. At this moment, Xiaohan also slowly stood up. Shockingly, Xiaohan had inadvertently and casually breathed in. Boom! A loud sound rang out and the entire wooden house shook. It was as if a bolt of lightning had suddenly exploded in the middle of the wooden house. I finally refined 1,306 Thunder God's body-tempering pills. This feels great. Moreover, I, Xiaohan, have never possessed such great power before, ha ha. This power is so strong that I can't control it for now, ha ha. Xiaohan's eyes shot out lightning, and every cell in his body emitted a terrifying rumbling sound. He flicked his fingernails slightly, and the air would explode and be obliterated. Suddenly, the shadow of a Thunder God appeared behind Xiaohan. This Thunder God stood on dark clouds, wearing a thunderbolt battle robe and a crown on his head. He ruled the world with dignity and majesty. All the lightning in the immortal realm was under his command. 700 billion cauldrons. Xiaohan prepared for a while, and finally got used to the power he currently possessed. The violent lightning around him gradually receded into his body. Then he sealed it up with the spirit turtle's true qi. Xiaohan's presence became completely gentle and tranquil. However, he knew very well that after refining 1,306 Thunder God's body-tempering pills, the pure strength of his body had reached a terrifying 700 billion cauldrons. His entire body carried a terrifying tearing and explosive power. An immortal physique is indeed an immortal physique. Too powerful? Ah! Xiaohan laughed complacently. When he opened his eyes slightly, millions of lightning bolts flashed, as if his eyes were hiding all the lightning in the world, or even the entire immortal realm. It was also like the Thunder God had descended into the mortal world. Moreover, as long as Xiaohan did not purposely conceal it, and did not purposely conceal it with the spirit turtle true qi, then there would indeed be faint immortal qi flowing on his body, circulating and forming. Chapter 485. Xiaohan took 1,306 Thunder God body-tempering pills in a row, which made his body more like an immortal body. He was one step closer to the perfect thunder god body. Xiao Han's body was covered in lightning, and his breathing carried the anger of the heavens. The power of his flesh shell had increased to 700 billion cauldrons. The improvement was so great that even Xiao Han couldn't believe it. In Xiao Han's dimension, the powerhouses on the monster ranking list, like Shangguan Wudi, had a maximum attack power of 20 billion cauldrons when they used their true chi treasures. With the attack power of 700 billion cauldrons, if Xiao Han were to return to his dimension and encounter powerhouses like Shangguan Wudi, he would be crushed with a flick of his finger. The difference was too great, like the difference between heaven and earth. His life was on a completely different level. In other words, the current Xiao Han had already completely surpassed the living beings of his plane. Xiao Han wasn't even afraid of the Pagoda Master. The Pagoda Master had the body of a half-immortal. He collected the scattered immortal chi in the dimension and refined his body, so that his mortal body had traces of immortality. However, he hadn't taken any immortal pills. He couldn't be like Xiao Han and consume immortal pills in large quantities. Even the immortal chi contained in one Thunder God body tempering pill was not something that the Pagoda Master could collect in an ordinary dimension. In other words, the quality of Xiao Han's body was actually better than the Pagoda Master's. If I were to encounter that red-clothed young man with the saber again, I wouldn't give him any chance at all. Even if I didn't use my mental strength to deal with him, I wouldn't have given him any chance. Even if I don't use my mind power, I can still tear him apart with my bare hands. Xiao Han was very confident. But very soon Xiao Han used the spirit turtle's true chi and concealed his violent, pulsating aura. He became very normal. His state of mind was also stabilized. It's too early for me to be happy. I have to take 10,000 Thunder God body tempering pills to perfect my immortal body. Only then can I create a perfect immortal body. I've only taken a little more than 1,000 pills, it's still far from perfect. Immortal pills were immortal pills. That was why Xiao Han had achieved such an absolutely heaven-defying improvement. It wasn't strange at all. Alright. I don't know how many days I've been in seclusion this time, nor do I know how far the Celestial Stone competition has progressed, or how many rounds it has been. I hope the Celestial Stone competition hasn't ended yet. I still need to continue fighting to obtain Celestial Stones to exchange for the Thunder God's body tempering pill. Xiao Han stood up and looked out of the window. It was already late at night. In the air outside the wooden hut, there was a kind of cold and austere atmosphere. Xiao Han slowly walked to the orchard outside the wooden house. He stretched lazily and picked many immortal fruits to fill his stomach. He ate until his teeth and cheeks were filled with the fragrance, and he cried out in satisfaction. Afterward, Xiao Han was not in a hurry to send a message to Xiao Mingqiu. Instead, he returned to the wooden house. Xiao Han stood in front of the screen. Spiritual fluctuations swept in. After cultivating in seclusion for a long time, Xiao Han was eager to know the progress of the Celestial Stone competition. After some observation, tomorrow is the 20th day of the Immortal Stone competition. I've been in seclusion for 6 whole days. However, the last time I consumed dozens of immortal pills, I went into seclusion for 4 days. This time, I consumed and refined more than 1,000 immortal pills, but I only went into seclusion for 6 days. I think it's because of my seclusion this time that I have a foundation. Therefore, when I consume and refine the Thunder God's body tempering pill, I can eat it by the handful, and the refining speed is getting faster and faster. Tomorrow is the 20th day of the Celestial Stone competition. I've been resting since the 13th round, and I've already missed 6 rounds of the competition. The Celestial Stone competition has been going on until now. There are only about 20,000 evil heroes in this giant hall. Sigh, I wonder how many evil heroes have died in the arena in the past few days. Hiss. Tomorrow's competition, the Celestial Stone prize, the compound interest. Oh my god. In the 13th round, the prize has already reached more than 80 million Celestial Stones. Then, the 20th round? If it's multiplied like this, wouldn't it be amazing? Xiao Han did a quick calculation and he almost fainted from the shock. According to the rules of the Celestial Stone competition, the prize of tomorrow's 20th round will reach billions of Celestial Stones. Oh my god. It was really terrifying. The value of a Celestial Stone competition was as high as billions of Celestial Stones. Xiao Han forced himself to calm down. He gathered his psychic power and carefully observed the rewards for the Immortal Stone competition. As Xiao Han scanned the area with his psychic power, there was a flash on the screen and a calm voice could be heard. Juniors, the Celestial Stone competition has now reached the 19th day, the 19th round. According to the rules, tomorrow will be the 20th round of the competition. However, I hereby announce that tomorrow, there will be a temporary truce. But don't think that the Celestial Stone competition is over. I mean that tomorrow, there will be a one-day truce so that the evil heroes who want to continue participating in the competition can recuperate and build up their strength. This is because the next round of the competition will be a battle between the strong. It's a matter of life and death. Oh? A truce tomorrow? Xiaohan was stunned. However, he did not think too much about it. He pricked up his ears, held his breath, and listened to the message left by Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao again. Up until now, the celestial stones that the outstanding ones have obtained and the celestial stones that the losers have obtained, I'm afraid some of the participants have already obtained billions of celestial stones, right? Ah, that's amazing. To be able to accumulate billions of celestial stones is a badge of strength. No matter how lucky the weak ones are, it's impossible for them to accumulate billions of celestial stones. Congratulations to the strong ones. However, the current situation should be, all the evil heroes who have billions of celestial stones must be very vexed, right? This is because the treasures in the storage of the Genius Zone's giant hall must have been exchanged. There's not much left. All of you must have celestial stones but no treasures to exchange, right? Yes. Even if I have billions of celestial stones in my hands, I really can't exchange for any treasures. Xiaohan's spirit wave swept through the storage. Yes, all kinds of defensive immortal equipment, offensive immortal equipment, and special immortal equipment were almost all exchanged. The storage of celestial pills and celestial qi was relatively large, but there were not many left. To Xiaohan, there were only 2,487 Thunder God body tempering pills left in the storage. Motherf asterisk cur, Xiaohan cursed inwardly. Before I went into seclusion, there were still 7,000 Thunder God body tempering pills in the storage. I exchanged for more than 1,000 Thunder God body tempering pills. Until now there are 2,487 left. They have been exchanged for thousands of celestial stones. Xiaohan's heart was filled with regret and regret. This Thunder God's body tempering pill's medicinal effect is extremely overbearing and unyielding. If it wasn't for the fact that I cultivated the indestructible golden body technique, I wouldn't have been able to withstand it. There's no way I can refine it either. The heroes in this realm definitely didn't exchange for the Thunder God body tempering pills for themselves to consume and refine, but only for the sake of exchanging. As long as it was an immortal pill, they would exchange for it if they had enough immortal stones. Then they would return to their own realm and hire an alchemist to do their best to refine a neutralizing medicine. Emperor, Minister, Assistant Envoy? Damn it. Xiaohan was furious. At this moment, Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao left a message. Once again it was transmitted from the light screen. That's right. I've said it before. This is merely the first layer of this emperor's treasure trove, the outermost layer. In this life of this emperor's, I've accumulated an enormous amount of treasures, and my wealth is comparable to a nation's. In the entire immortal world, this emperor has the most treasures, and their quality is also the most precious. However, to tell the truth, the treasures stored in the Genius Zone aren't that great. Defensive immortal treasures are the armors worn by ordinary true immortals. Offensive immortal treasures are also used by ordinary true immortals in the immortal world. All sorts of immortal qi and immortal pills are nothing in the immortal world. In fact, even the immortal arts and Taoist manuals placed in the Genius Zone are common goods in the immortal world. To tell the truth, any one of the treasures in the Genius Zone is enough to make you mortals fight for it with your lives. However, it's not an exaggeration to say that the Genius Zone is a place where this emperor piles up trash. The real good stuff is at the back. The treasures in the Genius Zone in the first layer have all been exchanged, so be it. It doesn't matter. Now, this emperor will tell everyone responsibly that once you enter the second layer of this emperor's treasure trove, the quantity and quality of the treasures will be much higher than in the Genius Zone. In that case, the immortal stones in your hands won't rot in your hands. Now, you can exchange them for immortal cards. Immortal cards are the currency used to enter the second layer of this emperor's treasure trove. Those who have extra immortal stones can exchange them for immortal cards now. When you enter the second layer of this emperor's treasure trove, you can use the immortal cards to exchange for some items. Of course, the second layer of this emperor's treasure trove has some special rules and tests. It's not just about immortal cards. The rules of exchanging immortal stones for immortal cards. 1 billion immortal stones for 1 unit of immortal cards, which is also 1 immortal card. 1 billion immortal stones for 1 immortal card? Immortal cards can be used in the second layer of Immortal Emperor's treasure trove? Xiao Han finally understood. However, he was helpless. Xiao Han had almost no immortal stones left. Moreover, even if he had immortal stones, he would definitely exchange them for the Thunder God's body-tempering pills in the storage first. I'm unable to gather 10,000 Thunder God's body-tempering pills in this giant hall of the Genius Zone. I wonder if there are any more Thunder God's body-tempering pills in the second layer of Immortal Emperor's treasure trove? Or perhaps there are other immortal pills or treasures that can perfectly replace or even surpass the Thunder God's body-tempering pills. At this point, there aren't many treasures left in the storage. I believe everyone has exchanged for the immortal keys to enter the second layer of this Emperor's treasure trove. Then, the following Immortal Stones competition is to fight for the only purple immortal key. Secondly, it's to prepare for the second layer of this Emperor's treasure trove to prepare for the immortal cards. However, everyone can leave now. There's no need to continue with the competition. The competition after this will definitely be extremely tragic. No genius hero can guarantee that they can defeat an equally talented opponent. There's no need to gamble with their lives, right? Yes, you can leave now. Yes, you can return to your hometown and come back to explore when the second layer of this Emperor's treasure trove opens. Of course, if you have the heart of an expert and are not afraid of death, this Emperor will not stop you from continuing the competition. The last remaining evil hero will obtain the only purple immortal key. Well, tomorrow all the evil heroes who are staying in the giant hall, think about it carefully and see if you want to continue to participate in the Immortal Stones competition. Once you make the decision to continue the battle, use your psyche to touch the light screen and apply for a battle. However, once you apply for a battle, you can't withdraw until the end. In other words, applying to continue the Immortal Stones competition is equivalent to entering a cycle of death. You're not allowed to withdraw in the middle. Only one will survive in the end. Chapter 486. When Xiao Han heard Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's message, he was shocked to the core. Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's words were very clear. Otherwise, he would withdraw and not participate in the following Immortal Stone competition. Once they applied to participate, they had to fight to the end. The one who survived would be the final victor. The only existence. For example, if 100 people apply to participate in the next battle, then no matter how monstrous they are, how bright their future is, or how heaven-defying they are, 99 of them must die in battle. There was only one survivor. The success of a general is built on the bones of 10,000 people. And to be honest, is there really a need to continue fighting? Xiao Han couldn't help but laugh. After the first 19 rounds of battles, those who could survive until now and still stand tall, which one of them didn't earn enough immortal stones? Which one of them didn't exchange for many treasures? Even the celestial key to enter the second level would be in his hands. What was the point of fighting? For honor? For the title of the strongest? Or perhaps, it was for that purple immortal key? Yes, there was only one purple fairy key. Indeed, those who could obtain the purple fairy key were worthy of their name. They were the strongest people under 10,000 years old in the entire universe. However, according to Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao, the difference between the purple immortal key and the other immortal keys was that it could bring more people into the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure trove. The red immortal key could teleport one person to the second level of the Zhu Dao Immortal Emperor's treasure trove. The orange immortal key could teleport 3 people to the second level of the Zhu Dao Immortal Emperor's treasure. The yellow immortal key could allow 10 people to enter. The green immortal key could allow 20 people to enter. A blue immortal key could allow 50 people to enter. Blue fairy key. It could allow 70 people to enter. Purple immortal key. The number of people he brought in was indeed enough, reaching 200, but it was meaningless. Selfishly speaking, as long as he could enter the second level, that would be enough. Why would he care about others? Of course, if we continue to fight, we'll accumulate a terrifying amount of immortal stones. After exchanging them for immortal cards, I can also make full use of them when I enter the second floor. Xiao Han nodded slightly. At this moment, Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's voice continued to spread, and you have 1 day to think about it. You can apply to continue fighting for the entire day tomorrow. The deadline for applications will be tomorrow night. In the light screen, it will show the number of people who are still fighting. After that, Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's voice could be heard. The silence dissipated. The screen became quiet again. Should I continue fighting or teleport out? Xiao Han paced around the wooden house. I don't even have the immortal key to enter the second level, how can I not fight? Furthermore, I still need to obtain enough immortal stones to exchange for the Thunder God's body-tempering pills in stock. Forget it. In any case, there's still a full day before the deadline to continue fighting. I'll go out and take a breather first. Xiao Han temporarily calmed down and walked out of the wooden hut. He took out the Devil Hero token and sent a message to Xiao Mingqiu. Eldest senior brother, are you still in the giant hall? Not long after, Xiao Mingqiu replied, Junior brother Xiao Han, you're out of seclusion? Yes, brother Luo and I are still in the giant hall area, waiting for you to come out. Junior brother Xiao Han, now you should know the rules announced by Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao. Come out and have a chat. Yes, eldest senior brother. Xiao Han stayed in the garden outside the wooden house. The shadows of flowers were sparse and the moonlight was graceful. At this moment, it was noisy in the garden area of the other wooden houses. Many devil heroes were discussing and deciding what to do. Everyone, are you going to stay or leave? I'll teleport away now. I won't apply to participate in the Immortal Stone competition. There's no need to take the risk. I've already exchanged for a lot of immortal pills and immortal equipment. I've also exchanged for a yellow immortal key, which means that I've obtained the quota to enter the second level. Moreover, including myself, the yellow immortal key is enough for 10 people to enter the second level. I've achieved my goal and completed the task. I'll teleport away now and return to my hometown in glory. I'm leaving too. Everyone, let's meet again when the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure trove opens. There aren't many treasures left in the Genius Zone. There's no need for us to continue fighting. Once we apply to continue fighting, we can only fight to the end. Only one person can survive. This is simply courting death. Although I've always been proud of myself, after all the encounters in the Genius Zone this time, I've learned that there's always someone stronger than you. I'm not strong enough to fight to the end. If I participate rashly, I'll be courting death. Everyone, see you later. I didn't intend to continue fighting. I'm staying to watch the show. I won't leave for now. There's still a good show to watch. Yes. Brother, I'm also here to watch the show. There will definitely be conceited people who will apply to participate in the next battle. That'll be a good show. It'll be a heavyweight contest that can only be encountered by chance. I can't miss it. Xiao Han saw many chivalrous heroes teleporting away. Of course, there were also some who chose to stay. Some continued fighting and some watched the show. Junior brother Xiao Han. Xiao Mingqiu, Luo Tianyu, Xiao Han's 5 devil hero slaves, and a few other devil heroes all came to Xiao Han's side. Little brother Xiao Han, you've finally come out of seclusion after a few days. Luo Tianyu smiled. The final stage of the Immortal Stone competition is coming. Yes. Xiao Han nodded in agreement. The exploration of the Genius Zone is indeed coming to an end. Everyone sat down. They continued chatting. Junior brother Xiao Han, are you going to continue participating in the competition or withdraw? Xiao Mingqiu asked with a frown. Probably to continue fighting, Xiao Han said honestly. I still want to enter the second level of the Zhu Dao Immortal Emperor's treasure, but I don't have an immortal key. I have to fight and obtain immortal stones to exchange for a place to enter the second level. I won't enter the second level. I'm really not willing. But, Master, once you apply to continue fighting, you can't withdraw midway. You have to defeat all the opponents. One of Xiao Han's devil hero slaves said worriedly. Master, there's no need to take the risk. We all have some immortal stones. We'll be able to exchange for a place to enter the second level for Master. Xiao Han laughed involuntarily. He did not know why, but the battle intent in Xiao Han's chest was getting stronger and stronger. Xiao Han already had the embryonic form of an immortal body. His physical strength had reached 700 billion cauldrons, and his physical defense was extremely strong. After refining 44 Thunder God body tempering pills, he suffered 200 billion cauldrons of attacks. Now that he had consumed more than 1,000 immortal pills, he was already immortal. A lesser success immortal body would be even harder to be killed by mortals. Moreover, Xiao Han had the natal saber chi of the great success stage to protect him. He could fight against any genius in the mortal world and would not be at a disadvantage. If I can fight to the end, not only will I obtain the purple immortal key, but my accumulation will also be even more terrifying. My mind will be sharpened and untainted. This will be of great benefit to me when I break through to the talisman transformation realm. Xiao Han blurted out. Junior brother Xiao Han, I was right. According to your temperament, you will indeed continue fighting. However, there are some strong opponents. Junior brother Xiao Han, you must not underestimate them, Xiao Mingchu hurriedly said. Eldest senior brother, I understand. Xiao Han nodded. Heck, little brother Xiao Han's ambition is higher than the sky. Since that's the case, we won't persuade you anymore. We will stay here and watch little brother Xiao Han's battle. We will cheer for little brother Xiao Han, Luo Tianyu said seriously. I believe that the final victor standing on the stage will be you, little brother Xiao Han. Thank you for your encouragement, brother Luo. Xiao Han thanked him and then joked. If I can obtain the purple immortal key, I can bring 200 people into the second level. When that time comes, I'll bring everyone in together. Ha ha ha. The joking immediately relaxed the atmosphere. After a short while. Actually, most of the fiends will not choose to continue fighting. There won't be many fiends applying to continue fighting tomorrow. Most of them are unwilling to fight for their only chance of survival, Xiao Mingchu said rationally. We'll know the number of fiends who will continue fighting tomorrow night, Xiao Han said with a smile. The next day, in a wooden house, the genius Naga with chestnut-colored hair stood in front of the light screen with an arrogant face. Continue fighting. Only the final victor can live. Ah, good. What an interesting rule. I, Naga, will continue fighting. All those who obstruct me, Naga, will be turned into dregs. Ah. Boom. Naga's spiritual wave shot into the light screen, requesting to continue participating in the Immortal Stone competition. In another wooden house, the huge man Li Xiaotian, who was covered in black scale armor, had come to a decision after an entire night of pondering. I was born with a special physique, and my defense is unbelievably strong. Even if my attack is not as strong as the other fiends, I can still kill them if they can't kill me. Participate. Continue fighting. Boom. Li Xiaotian's spiritual wave also shot into the light screen. At the same time on this day, a group of the strongest fiends applied to continue fighting. At dusk, Xiao Han stood in front of the light screen with a faint smile on his face. Let's fight. My goal is to enter the 4th level of Celestial Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure, the core level. I want to obtain Celestial Emperor Zhu Dao's legacy. I, Xiao Han, am possessed by the demon god's soul and the cosmic giant beast's egg. I'm almost a person who can't even survive. I'm not afraid of being cut into pieces, and I dare to pull down the emperor. I, Xiao Han, am not afraid. Fight. Continue fighting. Xiao Han's spiritual wave also shot into the light screen, requesting to continue fighting. At night. Xiao Han stood in front of the light screen. At this moment. Yes, the time limit for applying to continue the Immortal Stone competition is up. At this point, a total of 32 of the bravest, strongest, and most tenacious genius fiends will participate in the final battle. Celestial Emperor Zhu Dao's indifferent image was transmitted from the light screen. To be continued? Chapter 487. In the middle of the wooden hut. Xiao Han stood in front of the light screen. At this moment, the light screen was overflowing with colorful lights. Wisps of mysterious light rose from it. Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's solemn voice was transmitted. 32 people? Including me, there are only 32 Yao Xia who applied to continue participating in the Immortal Stone competition? Xiao Han suddenly understood. However, to be honest, 32 people were willing to fight to the death. This number was already very good. That is to say, only one of the 32 Yao Xia will survive. At this moment, swoosh, a mystical beam of light suddenly shot out from the light screen and shone onto Xiao Han's body. Suddenly, Xiao Han's entire body was translucent. Before Xiao Han could react, his image had already appeared on the light screen. At the same time, swoosh, 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 on the light screen the images of the Yao Xia appeared one after another. After a few hundred breaths, the fluctuation on the light screen stopped and solidified. Xiao Han hurriedly took a closer look. At this moment, on the light screen, the images of 32 Yao Xia were neatly listed. On the light screen, Xiao Han saw a young and handsome version of himself. His eyes were resolute and his facial features were slightly immature. Xiao Han clicked his tongue in wonder. Looking again, other than himself, among the remaining 31 Yao Xia, there were only 3 female Yao Xia. The rest were all male Yao Xia. Moreover, each Yao Xia's physical characteristics and temperament were completely different. There was a guy with a sinister face, there was also a guy with a kind face, there was a black person, there was a person with reddish-brown skin, there was a tall and huge one like an ancient god, there was also a thin and cold one like a snake or scorpion. That chestnut-haired guy is also here. Is he also participating in the Immortal Stone competition? Xiao Han's expression slightly froze. On the light screen he saw Naga's image. For Naga, Xiao Han also had a deep impression. Xiao Han had seen Naga's battle before. Naga was only at the Talisman Transformation realm, but he instantly killed a 9th-level True Chi cultivator. This was a battle where he killed someone at a higher level. It was very classic. TSK. If I didn't remember wrongly, that chestnut-haired fellow is at the Talisman Transformation realm. I am at the Acupoint Expansion realm and he is at the Talisman Transformation realm. Our True Chi realm is at the bottom amongst the countless geniuses. However, his previous performance was very stunning. But I never thought that he would be able to fight until now. He did not die in the arena. Moreover, he even participated in the Celestial Stone competition. This fellow is a formidable opponent. Xiao Han instinctively felt that he didn't want to meet the Nagas. 32 brave warriors. This emperor thought. After the rules of the Fairy Stone competition were announced, most of the evil heroes would give up. There would probably only be a few chivalrous swordsmen joining in. But, yes, a total of 32 chivalrous heroes chose to fight to the end. You are all peerless geniuses with great wisdom and courage who do not fear death. This emperor is moved by you all. In fact, with this kind of crushing power and bravery, one wouldn't be far from becoming an immortal. In order to become an immortal, one had to go through many tribulations and tribulations. The immortal path is not about riding a crane and being carefree. It is about cutting through thorns and thorns, putting oneself on the edge of death to survive. Then, among the 32 chivalrous swordsmen, only one will survive. According to this emperor's experience, this elite should have at least a 50% chance of eventually becoming an immortal. Oh? The one who defeats all the opponents and survives has at least a 50% chance of ascending to the immortal path and becoming an immortal? Xiao Han's expression also changed slightly. A 50% chance of becoming an immortal. This was already a very, very high probability. It was extremely difficult for mortals to ascend to the immortal path and the chances were slim. Often, in countless ordinary mortal planes, there might not even be one immortal born. Some so-called geniuses had the potential to become an immortal. In fact, the probability of becoming an immortal was definitely only 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000, or even 1 in 10,000. For example, in Xiao Han's plane, the genius Garen, who died in Xiao Han's hands, was said to have the quality to become an immortal. However, if he did not die, there was only 1 in 10,000 or even 1 in a million chance of becoming an immortal. Now, Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao, the third immortal emperor in the history of the immortal world, said that as long as one stood out among the 32 chivalrous swordsmen, he would have a 50% chance of becoming an immortal. Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's evaluation was absolutely authoritative. Xiao Han was very tempted by this. At this moment, Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's voice sounded in the light screen. Then everyone, I will now announce the rules of tomorrow's competition. Xiao Han immediately listened attentively. The 32 chivalrous swordsmen will fight in pairs. The winner will advance to the next round and the loser will die. Tomorrow the top 16 will emerge from the 32 chivalrous swordsmen. Then there will be a 3-day break to determine the top 8. Then there will be a 3-day break to determine the top 4. Before the finals there will be a 7-day break. Chivalrous swordsmen, the opponents you will encounter will also be determined randomly. It is not predetermined by humans. The random selection of opponents has some element of luck. Those with strong luck can avoid strong opponents. To avoid early encounters, to become an immortal, luck is also very important. However, I believe that among the 32 chivalrous swordsmen, none of them are weak. The competition to advance to the top 16, the 16 pinnacle battles will be held at the same time tomorrow. Tomorrow morning we will randomly decide who your opponent will be. Alright, this emperor has finished announcing the rules. Everyone rest up and build up your energy. Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's voice finally dissipated. Phew, random selection of opponents. Xiao Han breathed out a mouthful of turbid air and then walked out of the wooden house. Outside Xiao Han's wooden house. In the garden and orchard. Xiao Mingchu, Luo Tianyu and the others had already arrived and were clustered around Xiao Han. They were discussing nervously. The atmosphere was slightly depressing. Junior brother Xiaohan, we have seen the images of the 32 chivalrous swordsmen through the light screen. Some of them are very impressive. We have a very deep impression of them. We've seen their previous battles through the screen. They're all top-notch monsters, extremely abnormal. Xiao Mingqiu said nervously. I didn't expect that. There are still so many people participating in the final battle. This is really crazy. Out of the 32 people, 31 will die. When I think about it, it really makes me sigh. Luo Tianyu shook his head repeatedly. Including junior brother Xiaohan, there are a total of 32 chivalrous swordsmen from 32 different mortal planes. Each chivalrous swordsman is the strongest existence among their peers. In the countless mundane planes, they all have the ability to summon the wind and rain. But now they actually have to fight each other in pairs, and only one can survive in the end. This is really cruel. 31 people will die, just these 31 people. 4 weak planes of our level, even if we get 1 or 2, we'll still be able to deal with them. We can also rise up. It is really a pity to die in vain. This immortal Emperor Zhu Dao is really, in the name of being a genius zone, he distributed his treasures to many genius chivalrous swordsmen, and even said that he wanted to groom a successor to inherit his orthodoxy. But from his current actions and rules, he is not cherishing geniuses at all. If he cherishes the gifts from the heavens, he would not let the strongest existences kill each other. This is really a reckless waste of resources. Ha! Xiao Mingqiu smiled faintly. In the eyes of a monstrous immortal emperor, mortals are just ants, dust. The so-called genius chivalrous swordsmen are nothing more than stronger ants in the eyes of immortal Emperor Zhu Dao. Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao sees us as pawns to play with, and does not care about our lives. There's nothing to be regretful about. Yes. One of Xiaohan's chivalrous swordsmen nodded. If mortals die, they die. Immortals will not care about these things. Junior brother Xiaohan, now let's see who you will encounter in the first round, the battle for the top 32 to the top 16. Xiao Mingqiu looked at Xiaohan. Among these powerful chivalrous swordsmen, there are a few who are extremely abnormal. However, I am most worried about a monster who is only at the talisman transformation realm. Yes. That guy seems to be called Naga. Luo Tianyu also echoed. This person is the most terrifying. Is it that chestnut-haired guy? Xiaohan blurted out. Yes. That's the guy who can kill people above his level like chopping melons and vegetables. Xiao Mingqiu said cautiously. Junior brother Xiaohan, I have watched Naga's battles many times. His battles are very terrifying. Xiao Mingqiu's expression was aghast. Oh? Xiaohan was stunned. In every battle of Nagas, no matter who his opponent is, he will cut them into pieces with one sword. Xiao Mingqiu said in horror. He has never used a second sword. I have never seen such a fast sword. There are rumors that Naga can kill thousands of ultimate variant demon emperors with one sword. Luo Tianyu also trembled in fear. From the previous battles, any opponent that meets Naga is not worthy of his second sword. Xiaohan touched his nose and smiled indifferently. I don't think I will be so unlucky to meet Naga in the first round, right? Of course, even if I really meet him, I have no way out. I can only fight. I will be cautious, but I will definitely not be afraid. Deep into the night. In a fragrant garden. The chestnut-haired Naga, the black-scaled Li Xiaotian, and the brownish-red bewitching man gathered together. Tomorrow the battle will begin and the opponent will be randomly decided. Li Xiaotian smiled. Naga, what I am most worried about is that I will meet you early. No worries, Li Xiaotian. If we meet in the arena, you will die very quickly. There will be no pain. Naga smiled coldly. Because my sword is very fast. I kill people in 1,000th of an instant. Those who die in my hands will not feel pain. My sword is a merciful sword. Ha ha. Naga, I also promise you that if I, Li Xiaotian, meet you, I will also let you die without any pain. Ah. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.